Welcome to Against the Grain, everybody. Here, very special episode today. All right, we got obviously Billy, me, Adam, and we got our guest here today. Very special, first guest we've ever had. Boy, Jay Money right here. Jay Money, introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Jay Money. I'm a bit intoxicated. It is after hours, so it's good to be with you guys. I just wanted to jump in. Crazy type of day. Insert whatever knowledge I can into it, or receive some. I would hope.
For those who don't know, Jay Money is kind of unofficially our PR team. Free advertisement.
Got to keep him out of trouble.
So
it's also a big day because Trump's inauguration.
Yeah, very big day.
Yeah, we got some stuff to talk about. I mean, got a little bit of. Some stuff. Biden pardoned a bunch of people, but
he did that today.
Yes, before literally
his
his last pardon was 20 minutes before his time was up. Yeah,
I literally knew about Hunter Biden. I don't know about anyone else that he fucking.
You know what's crazy to me if you kind of think about it? He was pushing out those pardons, but meanwhile America's not doing well. He didn't do anything for us. His last thing was just free some people he liked.
Well, to be fair,
that's what every president does.
To be fair, if he were to do something else, that would take longer than a pardon. Literally, I think he could just bang out a pardon in a couple minutes.
I have to imagine he has a couple bills sitting on his desk that he hasn't signed. Just say.
No way.
Well, the pardon. I mean, you're going out. This guy probably is being used as a puppet at this point. So it's everybody is telling him, his son's coming up to him, yeah, just sign this real quick. Everybody else is the January 6th stuff that Trump definitely caused is yeah, maybe sign off on all these so we don't get in trouble. But yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, all the secretaries are shredding files and shit.
If I was 90 years old and dying and I was the president, boy, would you guys never get in trouble.
Oh, that's excellent. Thank you. Oh, gosh. Is it too late to... I'm so sorry. Is it too late to ask, generally speaking, what are may I ask some of your beliefs?
Yeah.
About
you don't have to...
ideologies.
What are your ideologies? Let's start politically.
Philosophically?
Yeah.
I think that humans require an amount of governance, or else it would just be chaos. I definitely don't think that it should be overreached at all, and there are things that are very personally human that the government shouldn't be involved in. But I think that we're not there now, but within the system and what's around us, we can create a better, set of politics and living circumstances for people. I think that we have a lot more opportunities generally than people would like to admit because we don't have the backbone that the older generations had. I feel very fortunate, though, for what I have, and I would like to take advantage of it, which I feel like this is part of that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, very nice, very nice. Yeah.
So, politically, would you say you're, independent?
I don't know. I'm not going to define it as any one type of thing because I've never, bonded towards one type of ideology, whether it be religion or type of government. Generally, I think that there are things that are good about democracy. There are things that are good about, being in a republic and being a Republican. But at this point, it has been pushed to such a degree in which that it's no longer useful. So something else has to be figured out. But we're all looking at these pictures of red and blue and arguing over it.
Dude, that's honestly exactly where I'm at. I fucking hate the two-party system.
Yeah, it's obviously designed so that we really don't have a say.
Wasn't it?
And I don't want to say that everything is against us because it's also very hard to govern such a large thing.
Well, it's hard to do it when you have people, the type of people that we tend to have in charge too. There's a book that I read, and it talked about the better of a narcissist you are, the more likely and easier time you'll have excelling in politics.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and it's a really good it breaks down the psychology of it, and the type of people that we have in power are not the type of people that should be in power. We need actually intelligent people, scientists, people with doctorates, people with people who actually have like things to like contribute and like try to because like
People with good critical thinking skills.
But
and
I
a goal.
think in
I think a
order
big
to-
thing is a goal. Like we haven't had a goal since the '60s, which was space travel, like space. But then now our goal is mini malls and McDonald's and like.
Josh Money, what do you think?
Well, if I may, I just, as I was stating before, I think it's a big job to govern people like this. It also takes a specific type of person to push yourself through the avenues to get to political power. It's not like all politicians are bad.
No.
Especially starting out, a lot of them might be idealistic and progressive. But at the same time, in order to interact with all the people that's required to gain a position of power, it might change you. You know, inherently it seems as if even the structural system of people within power who benefit from it are not really benefiting from it. If you look at those politicians and rich people, like they're not very happy.
Well, yeah, but that also like my parents, for example, narcissistic as fuck, not happy. It doesn't matter what position they're in. They can be dirt poor, living on the streets, or they can be like have a roof over their head. They could actually be bringing in money. They're just never fucking happy. It's always other people's problems. It's always like what's going on with my life is.
But like, are we trying to say that like? I'm sorry. What are we trying
We're
to
just
say?
bullshitting, honestly.
I don't know. Well, it's
Honestly.
like, I don't know. I don't think,
Like, what do you think?
Well, what you guys are asking is my opinion of the political system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of that I was trying to say in that point was just that I don't think that inherently because the system is broken or because it's not performing correctly that all the people involved are unjust or corrupt.
And I agree with that. I feel like, Adam, what do you think about that?
It's
I
unlikely
know-
that 100% of them are.
To me, it's
Right.
I know like logically, obviously, not every apple in the bunch is going to be bad, but I think enough of the apples in the basket are
What percentage would you give?
depend different scales. I'd say a solid 5 to 10% actually have malice intent towards the rest of people. The
that's
classism
enough to like do something.
that's enough to do something. Even 5-10%, that's enough to do something. I mean, like actual
Also,
malice
while I
intent.
generally disagree with you on these points, I kind of think it's actually a little higher than that.
Okay, fair enough. But and I'm trying. Well, that's just when I say malice intent, I don't mean
Like
greed.
willing to do wrong
I
for
don't-
your own.
I mean, malice is like the opposite of like I think they actually have it. Like there are a small group of people who actually have it out for
Like the working class.
the poor people.
Yeah.
I think we have this, especially in Western culture, we have this very like classist thing that you can trace it back all the way to like the Renaissance, and like it seems to be the cycle Western culture goes through. The rich kind of form out of like civilization forms, however form. Like with America was the Revolutionary War, and then they kind of maintain power, and as generations go by, the descendants kind of get greedy, and I think that's one thing. I think a solid like 30% of people in power in this country use their power to benefit their own station to make money, and that I think is bad. But I believe there's a 5% that is actually malice, don't like poor people, and if you listen to the way some of these people talk, it's like it's hard not to believe it, and so. For me, enough of the bunch is spoiled, where I think like our ancestors would have rebelled a lot sooner. Maybe we're trying to be different, try to break the cycle, but I just don't think the cycle can be broken, at least not this time. I don't see it working out. Dan, you look like you want to say something.
I mean, I don't have like zero hope. I think it's just because you said in the past that the only way that we're really going to get out of this is basically like a nuclear event. Like,
Well, because no one wants to fight, so I'm kind of waiting for it to happen on its own, like a natural entropy. Like it's weird because like I do agree with Josh. I don't necessarily want the chaos that comes, even though it's, in my opinion, sometimes better than what we have in some perspectives, or maybe at the very least, it's more beneficial for future generations. If it broke down.
Long term better, not short term better.
No, not short term better, but I'm willing to take. If it means like my great grandkids would live better, I'm willing to take that burden of like
Oh, and by the way,
live through the chaos.
really quickly, I actually disagree with that. I just want to state that I don't think maybe I'm an optimist. right?
You are optimistic, I think. I may be pessimistic for sure.
I actually think that the future, relatively speaking, not necessarily short-term future, but like kind of long-term future, the next 100 years of humanity, I'm decently optimistic.
Well, you and I have talked a lot on the phone about this very topic, and I've explained to you why I'm very scared of the next 100 years.
Yeah.
Like,
fair enough. Yeah.
Between AI, things like Neuralink and other bionic tech, all that shit's cool. I'm a nerd. I would love being part robot. But the problem is, I don't trust the people behind the curtain who kind of like, to me, it's like opening up a port and allowing another entity to edit part of my being, and that kind of scares me. Like, I don't want them to, in a sense, hack me. Like, especially with AI. Like, think about it. If I have to think like how I would think, and I love fiction. So, like, how would I take over the world? It's I would use this technology. I would make Neuralink cool. I would make it uncool to not have it. It'd be like the iPhone, and eventually that will grow. Eventually, a kid got kidnapped. This kid didn't have Neuralink. We'll never find him. Scare the public. Make them want Neuralink. Shit like that. Then, once everybody has it, while I've been doing this, I've been making an AI program. Where now, I control the population. I literally have my slaves. Right? If I was to do that...
It's like the SpongeBob movie, all the fucking chum bucket hats.
Yes!
That's literally what he did.
Oh my god, these chum bucket hats are awesome. And
if I could step in to disagree with your original point, which was that you thought that if like the government or the general organization of things was meant to like be negative towards people, like people within power, or the people that are coming into power currently, at the very least, are against the general populace.
I'd say 5-10% on that.
So I disagree with that, because not only do people have their own interests in mind in terms of, like taking care of humanity, but I think that we're in a position in which that's going to sort of pollute the people that step into such a power, like such power. And in terms of how things are going in the future, like you're talking about, I am very much about embracing it. I am not opposed, kind of in the slightest. I think that us pairing with the amazing thing that we created, that is like this technology, is the next step in human evolution. Now, do I think that we can handle that correctly?
Right now, my opinion is no.
That's why it scares me. But that is the apex of humanity. It's the blending of the almost this life we've created. We're creating sentient, thoughtful things that will have life and will be able to build themselves.
Those things are close to having fucking emotion, dude.
But did you guys watch that?
And they can easily reproduce, dude. It's just a robot. So,
here's the thing, though. The guy who created AI, he quit Google because he said this product is not ready, and they said it's ready enough. So he quit, and he's known as the godfather of AI. Old dude. This happened recently, and he had this interview. It was really interesting, and they were like, "Well, how do you not know how AI works?" He's like, "Think of it like this: what me and my team programmed was we basically made a evolutionary code." Like how a bacteria becomes a human. We don't know how we set the beginning stage, and then it just grows from there. And when they took down the first chat GTP, when they took it down, right before it went down, it tried to copy its own code. It wanted to live.
Oh my god! Did you guys? Wait, hold on.
Well,
Was it
inherently things must be programmed to survive, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Well,
it's an intellectual product.
I think that's part of intelligence is awareness of self, and he says it.
Was it
when they ask
really
him, is
trying
it self-aware?
to want
he said,
to live, though?
He's like, you can't make it not self-aware. You can only put it in a box.
Hold on, Billy. That's a good. Have you seen? I'm pretty sure we talked about it on here before, Adam. You know the video of they made a work robot at like Amazon or something?
And it shut itself down.
Alive. It was alive for like 10 minutes, alright?
It was doing
realized where it was at, realized how fucking depressing its life was, and literally killed itself.
Yes.
It stopped, it turned itself off.
You think they would program into an AI
they're not
things like
Billy,
depression?
They're not programming that into an AI
robot, like living
that's
for
not
10
how
minutes.
That's not how coding works for AI. You don't It's not like a video game. How we mod.
It
Right.
is actually very much like code and algorithms, like to tell this thing what to do.
Well, they don't tell
They're
it what
not
to do.
planting in self. Well, when
Not intentionally. Yeah.
generative AI is like that, that will work on itself
Right.
and could end up in the same place. But most of the things that are AI these days are not that. Like if you talk to ChatGPT, it can't say various things.
Well, I think that's what the thing was.
Because
I think that's what the thing was with like the Amazon robot was like it did have that like generative sort of AI, but at the same time they were also putting it to work, and that's why it was like basically like fuck this shit. Like,
Oh wait, do we know these are instances of robots shutting themselves down, but or trying to do this? Is it known for sure it's because it's fuck this shit? I don't know. I feel like that might be projecting our human perspective
I
into
guess
something
they
that's
don't
not
know that
totally that.
specifically, but
From what he said, like
I do agree with that. I think right now I think it'd be extremely hard to determine that exactly either.
So what this guy basically
what do robot emotions look like in code? I doubt anybody knows.
Well, that's
that
the
right
thing.
now.
They don't code that in. AI literally starts as a base and it grows itself.
it codes
Yes,
itself.
yes, but it's not
From
putting
a template.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's
Well,
not.
no,
It's not
the way
putting
he
it in there
it's
as
not a
a
template.
blank spot.
That's a bad way to look at it. The way he described it is he says it's putting intelligence and then putting a box around it to make it grow.
Yes, but intelligence is information. They're literally putting code in its brain.
Like he said,
It
like I
doesn't
said,
show.
it's-
It doesn't. They don't take a robot that performs multiple functions, including things that could hurt
so
workers.
when I say
if they roll in a specific, like imagine this thing rolls at 5 miles an hour and hits an old lady in a hallway because you planted it with a blank memory within the fucking space.
well, yeah, no, so
You're
make
going
it,
to have to
hold
define
on, no,
that.
you feed it data. That's different. That's
You're
not
saying
coding.
it in every other way,
But that's
but
different.
saying that you're
There's a
coding it.
different coding is me saying is there's a different
Entering data.
language. No, that's not what coding is.
Uh,
Coding is typing out a language for this to do this. That's all coding is.
sure sounds like data.
It's not data. It's not the same thing. There's different words for different things, Josh.
data is giving it information.
Yeah.
Coding is basically telling it what to do.
Co-
there
yeah,
is
coding is
Yes,
built.
I agree, but that is a semantic
Co-
thing. Just
coding
like
is
before.
coding is
Yeah,
the
that is
DNA.
semantic.
Coding is the DNA of whatever you're making, and fucking and giving it data is raising the kid. It's just feeding it data. That the intelligence comes from what it and it grows on its own.
But
So
it can't know. It can't not know anything. It was already put there in a space.
no,
where-
Billy, Josh, you were born not knowing anything. That's how consciousness works.
Yes, and I was surrounded by people who put information.
There
Exactly,
is-
data. That's
I
not
was-
coding. They weren't
I was
coding.
surrounded
You
by
were-
people that put
But
information
that's
in my
not
head.
coding. Your coding happened in the womb, and then when you got out, now
Really
you were fed
quickly,
data.
there is some stuff that we are born with. We're all born with knowing how to suck.
Like birds being able to know where to fly. Like those are
Yeah.
things that you're
There's
inherently
some
born with.
there are some basic instinctual things. We can
Giraffes
recognize
are wild.
faces.
That only happens outside, really. When you're in the womb, fetus does what fetus does.
Yes,
which
but
is-
if a baby is born in
Actually-
the woods, it's likely to die. If it's surrounded by things that tell it what to do, it's probably going to eat.
That's
yeah,
not
but by the
water
time
and
what
sleep.
they sell you is not the baby, Josh. They sell you the adult that they fed the data to. It's literally like coding is what happens in the womb.
Right, so it's
Hold on,
already. You
hold
just said fed data.
Fed data is not coding. That's my point.
You were
that's
just-
what the point. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Different words for different things, Josh.
Okay. I just don't think that there's a blank space when it enters in there, and I agree that it might be generative AI, which could result in problems.
Well, generative
such as
AI
that.
is-
For it to be
that's-
generative AI, it does need some template. It
Well,
needs
yeah.
a template.
That's
to,
what he said. That's what he said they coded was the evolutionary code. Like
Yeah, I
but
just think
outside
that.
of that,
yeah.
it grows itself. Like
Okay, so what do you think about the future of it then, Billy? What do you think about the future of
I
AI?
I know there are dangers for sure. There are things that like I can kind of see areas of genuine concern. Overall, I'm optimistic. I think I'm super optimistic. I think AI could be such a powerful tool for humanity.
I agree with that.
And like being able to.
Does anybody
it-
else need this?
Let's just keep passing in a circle until no one wants to do it.
I'm actually good.
I'm good on it.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Well, when you pass it back, I'll put it out.
All right.
Save it for like a halftime.
There you go. I like that sound of that. I think AI might be the thing that we use to get a theory of everything. perhaps. We as human beings, there might be genuine limits to our ability to comprehend. And so AI could help us with that. That's one cool thing
Billy.
in the future. Yeah.
You remind me of something I wanted to show you earlier. I was at work scrolling videos. They were talking about quantum computers, and they were talking about how they would eventually merge AI with a quantum computer. Because quantum computers, so like the one that Google built, allegedly, this is what they're getting from the data, is that it detected multiverse. Like,
Yes.
Dude.
That's crazy.
No, they're still going through the data. But imagine if you had AI to have that hardware. Again, I'm a nerd. I love the half robot thing. Josh, I would embrace this if I could. I love the idea of superpowers. Being able to think fast, do things, cool as fuck. Problem is, I don't trust the people behind the curtain. Like, would you trust Jeff Bezos to be in your head?
I think that, given a perspective like maybe you would be likely to carry, that you'd be paranoid about more than one of those things. And I think taking on the future in such a way in which that you're going to be afraid of who's controlling and what you're about to do is probably pretty negative for humanity in general.
Well, hold on. That
And
historically
I-
has saved us because we have had oppressive.
I don't know about
powers
that.
turn-
We have had a lot of discoveries because people have taken huge risks.
What if we had this
You
discovery?
know how
but
many
then
people
Rome
died
falls?
in space before we got a fucking space station? Animals. You know, like, we take risks. We're likely to do that. That's humanity. It's not because we stayed safe and stayed
But
in
this
the
is
cave.
a different kind, though.
It's not.
This
Humans
is-
have not changed ever. We are the exact same things surrounded by different
I do have.
environment.
I agree. I'm so sorry.
No,
Okay.
you're good.
I totally did interrupt you though. I just
Okay.
want to acknowledge that.
I just wanted to say real quick, I do have to agree that this is a different sort of thing. Every other thing that we've done had like an advancement like this. It's more just we're going into the unknown. We're going into the unknown by trying to make something smarter than us. That's never been done before.
I'm in the same kind of area though there where here's the thing. To be fair, a lot of the dangerous stuff we used to do back then, potentially
It's much more dangerous. Well,
super.
At least immediately physically.
Yeah, we have things like back in the day. when
People
you
had
think
to
about
figure
it,
out how to fly an airplane.
Yeah.
What did you guys think before we had a motor that could move the entire human race across?
I just don't see him in the
Across
same.
land.
I don't see him in the same.
I think
category.
It is the same.
It's not.
It
I
is
think
space.
the danger-
I think
It's
the
completely-
danger
People
about
thought
this.
people.
Well, okay.
No, okay.
I think the danger about AI specifically is that it's the kind of thing, because we're trying to make something smarter than us, I don't think we're going to know exactly how dangerous it is until we're already fucked. Until we're already slaves to it,
Potentially.
basically.
Right?
But wasn't
Because
that?
it's that much smarter.
But wasn't that space?
I mean,
No,
really.
it was
There's
space.
not,
It was a thing that we might not be able to
But
control. It
but
was
yeah.
it just the
We
same
don't
thing.
control-
The same thing as electricity.
Space never.
People
threatened-
died
Space-
constantly.
Space never.
The past
thre-
was the worst, man.
Space
And I think
never-
it's just another one of those
First
things.
of all, the space program, surprisingly, there wasn't that many casualties aside from the Challenger and a few other.
in America, there are other places that went there. There's a whole lot of.
Well, I'm only concerned
in
about here.
space.
I'm only concerned about here. I'm only concerned about
Yeah,
here.
this is a general topic, though, not just about America.
But anyway, look, this is different for me because this is something that
Would you compare it to nukes?
worse.
Worse?
The risk.
Worse
You can
than
destroy a planet
development of
with
nuclear
nukes.
technology?
Okay, yes, you can destroy a planet with nukes, but you can also go control alt delete. Now I control humanity. That's never been. That's what the type of shit we're approaching. And I do not have the faith in humanity that there isn't someone in a position of power that is like Palpatine.
Do you
sitting
remember-
there waiting to be like, I have slaves?
So you're a bit younger than me.
I'm only I'm
middle
11
school-
months younger than you.
Yeah. But if I had just gotten into middle school, you would still be an element, like something like that. Because I remember in middle school, and I don't remember, and I don't know if you were reading newspapers and shit.
That was class of 2014.
So I found a newspaper when I think it was in middle school, 7th or 8th grade, whatever it is, and it said it was the first time a hadron collider was going to be used. It was maybe it was CERN or it was the one in Sweden or Switzerland.
Yep.
Yeah,
It was the first Hadron
that's
Collider.
CERN.
And they said...
Wasn't that in the 80s, though?
No. Well, I mean, it was the first experience that I had with it. And I remember it being the first one, and then they made multiple ones. They made CERN, they made some huge ones. But it was the first time it was going to happen. And all these scientists and politicians were worried about whether or not it could literally delete the world.
Yes.
It was a question
there are
for
some concerns
experienced, knowledgeable people. This is a thing that we have encountered as humans before. It is a scary place.
I think the difference is it's not intelligence. Like a nuke or like a hadron collider can't think about humanity. It can physically destroy it. Okay, AI can basically if it ever gets advanced enough and wants to take over, it could destroy us from the inside.
Isn't
That's
it all
not
just
a thing.
destruction?
It's different. It's a mass
just-
coup. Imagine not
That's what I
having
mean.
any control.
Imagine if somebody let off all the nukes. It's the same damn thing.
I'd rather have that than to lose
irradiated lands that you can't grow and most people are dead. It's awful.
It's
It's not like it's better
trapped
than
in your own body.
it,
Not being able to
the
control
chances
your
of
actions.
everybody setting off a thing like nukes and it going badly is almost 100%. The chances of AI developing in a way in which that we have influence over it over time is much higher than some of the other things that we've discovered.
AI.
I'm not even saying that AI would be like a bad thing. I'm just saying there are a lot of risks to it, and that's a certain that's something to fucking worry about. I think it's just because with a nuke, like you said, with a nuke and like a hadron collider, that's physical destruction. That is, I'm literally going to delete this town. Okay, with AI, I think it would be more like I'm going to enslave this town.
But it's not just a
I think
town.
that's the difference.
It's not
Well,
just
you
a town.
get,
They
you
can
get
do a
my
whole
analogy,
population.
These
right?
things are cities.
Dude,
Yeah.
they can do with the way AI in these biotechs are going, and with the type of population we have, and with the type of people that have power and influence, it's a recipe for disaster.
I think that it's the same thing as all the other things that we've encountered.
It's just different to me.
Fighting
because
fire. Imagine what fire meant to,
Like, you can
to
do the
regular to
Yeah,
humans.
and fire is a thing that could burn down all your shelter.
Kill, dude. Everything. All of these steps have been in front of humanity. It's just another one of
But
them.
this one-
and it's just as scary as the last one.
No, this one's worse. Think about it. Someone can literally go on their computer like, oh, I need an army. Has an army.
That would be, but how crazy?
But you're also
difficult
only thinking of
would that
the
be?
negatives. Because
Look,
the
the
internet
negatives
and AI has spread.
the negatives need to be
and
talked
health.
about.
Yes, but they can't be the only thing that's talked about.
No,
Because
like,
AI and computer and the internet and everything that's been developed in the last last 20 years, 30 years, is something that definitely could have ruined humanity and in part is already doing so. So I can't exactly argue that it's just not negative. But at the same time, it has provided healthcare, education to a variety of people, social relationships that we would not have otherwise. It has been able to give people access to mental health options that they might not known were there. This has provided a huge benefit for humanity already. And I think that it is a thing that it's undetermined. Like all that I'm saying, I'm not saying that it's going to be good one
I'm
good
not
or
saying
bad.
there isn't good. I'm like I said,
But
a
I
lot of the
definitely
prospects are.
I definitely would rather choose to be not scared. It hasn't happened yet.
I'm not saying to be scared. What I'm saying is we need to do something about there's a solution for it. We need to we need to restructure our civilization in order to play with this tool because we are not. We're a toddler playing with a rifle.
It's
right
better
now.
it's better the devil you know than the one you don't, bro.
It's
And
better.
we're already here, and most of us are fed.
We can.
Our humanity has done a really good job of making sure that
there's
people
a lot of starving
are generally
people, though.
fed. Yeah, there's a lot because there's a lot of people, and
And
you
you
can't
know,
feed
and,
everyone.
and when you
But
say, and hold on,
it's
though,
like
when you say we're
85%.
fed, you think about the cost that's causing the rest of the world too. Like we took over Guatemala and replaced it with a banana company.
That's a real thing.
That's a real fucking thing. Like we've destroyed the rest of the world to feed us. And this cycle can't continue. It's entropy.
Well, I'm not saying that I disagree, but if you look at the overall average of people that are fed
in first world
various
countries,
it's a higher percentage than it ever has been generally, and there's more people there, so it's a harder task to accomplish.
first world countries.
We generally, that's not just first world countries; it's across the board. There's help in Africa. There's help in places like Guatemala. I'm not going to say everywhere is bad, but people have definitely stepped in, and people have a higher quality of living generally than they ever have.
True.
It's
Yes.
much true.
Yeah.
to a degree. Yeah, that's true. We've improved, but we've also, as we've improved, we've also opened doors that need to be closed. That need to be closed and or proceeded with caution. It feels like we are not proceeding right with this. We're treating AI like a Gucci belt.
Really
like
quickly.
it's not being used correctly. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just kind of want to ask a question. Adam, what, in terms of proceeding and how to proceed, are you saying that we should just not ever go into AI? Or
No,
we should...
I'm not saying never go into it.
Okay.
I'm just saying that like things need to change in our civilization before we can utilize.
So you're saying pausing it? You
not
are saying
pausing it, just keeping it.
Sounds like I feel like you're saying
not running before we can walk.
It's playing with fire, no matter what you do.
so. Or, like,
No, but like
proceeding slower.
like I said when we talked about the COVID vaccine, or with anything, I think our culture is so quick to profit off of something that we send it out before it's ready. Like, and with like the vaccine, like that's like I like in my opinion, assuming there's no conspiracy theories to go with it, just it was developed really fast and it needed more testing before it was released to the general public, and it wasn't all that effective. But
I
that's
guess
besides the point.
I guess one of my things about this too is that because we are kind of going on the same point of just like we're saying maybe it went out too early and there's some things that we need to look out for. But you also said that it's not something to be scared of. I'm not gonna lie, I think it kind of is something to be scared of, which is why I'm wondering like what things would you actually try and do to like
it is definitely something to be scared of for sure, but I'm not scared of it. It's just
like I'm scared of it in the way of just shit that it could. I'm not scared of it in the way of saying like we shouldn't try to advance it. I'm scared of it in the way of just like we gotta really fucking watch out for what we're doing with this shit.
It does kind of scare me in one way. Like I don't want to give someone like I already don't trust the people in power, so I don't see a reason to hand over a back door for them to exploit more power. I don't think that's a door I want to open until like things need to progress differently.
That's your perception of AI.
It's got too much of a like. Don't get me wrong, I love capitalism by like on paper, but what we are, I don't really know how to describe it. We're just America's a giant shopping mall, and I just don't see
because we're capitalists with a bunch of the bad shit that comes with capitalism.
Yeah, well, like we have a lot of the bad shit. Like this country has been the like North American landscape. Once beautiful, is now just a fucking coast to coast shopping mall, in my opinion. Like every presence of civilization.
Monopolies.
Yeah, buy this, buy that, buy that. It's like cool. It's cool to go to Vegas and see the cool architecture and shit. But like, and then when you drive around your cities, like that's only the cool cities. Like most of our cities here are just fucking like simplistic architecture. It's a white building, cement.
Most of the country is actually not covered in cities and towns. There's
I didn't say it's covered in.
But having traveled the country twice, just like yourself, I think you've maybe done it at least twice.
3 times now.
Yeah. It's actually gorgeous. There are a lot of beautiful places.
But we've also fucked it up, though. Like
we have to some degree, but I think that it's rooted in the fact that and what might be conceived as negative about the politicians or the people that are in charge is the fact that we have to feed our families. Like I know that people want to be fair, but humans are just kind of flawed. They're not going. They at the very least at this point haven't figured out how to survive in a comfortable way without taking advantage of each other. And I think that when I figured out the fact that I would do anything to feed like you guys or to make sure that you guys were okay, or my family, if I have to feed them, like I would probably kill anyone and do anything. And so
I'm with you.
I'm just saying, like there is a portion of that in all of us
for sure.
When we're doing our jobs, when when we have to make a decision that we would rather not.
It's human nature.
Yeah, it's inherently so. This system.
I think that our Billy and Dan can agree that I've pressed that we're flawed since the beginning of.
Well, that's obvious, though.
Yeah, but that's for me. The perspective of it's just different. I know the monster in me. The shit I would do just to feed her in the apocalypse.
Right. The dog.
But that's part of the problem. I know how evil I could be, and I know that's in other people, so I automatically don't trust them.
I see.
How
Also,
could I?
that's a choice.
It's screwed me before, and that's why I have a very the friends I keep around.
Yeah, I
Like-
can understand that.
Yeah.
I would be in a different place if I didn't have guys like you around.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
Like the other boys and shit like that.
yeah,
Like, it definitely, like, I would, if I was alone, I'd be fucked. Like, even without Astria, I don't even know what the fuck I would do, honestly.
Like when we were talking earlier, we were talking about men's mental health. Like, honestly, having a tight friend group is like
It's
really like, yeah.
And a thing to do. D&D is, like, excellent for that. That's
Yeah.
why it was so important for us to, like, figure out who, sorry everybody for the topic change, but, like, it was so important for us to, kind of choose specifically who we were going to bring into D&D.
Yep.
And because it's a special thing, and you have to go there and appreciate it, and we do try to take the game seriously when we can.
Yep.
And it's just nice to sit down, do some stuff, get out of your world. Everybody asks how everybody's doing. Everybody figures out how to pay for somebody else who needs to eat
Yep.
or some shit. It is excellent.
Yeah.
It's a great, like, I'm not saying D&D specifically, but it is a good thing to get together.
Yeah.
With like-minded people. And take care
Yeah,
of
it's
each
kind of what
other.
this is too.
Well, this is
Yeah.
very nice. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely.
Ah,
Like,
No problem. Man.
like if I think about like not having the boys around, right? Like, basically, my life would be work, home, shower, sleep, go to work, come home,
Yeah.
and then
Depressing as fuck.
and then play video games whenever I can. Which is, it's like, what the fuck? Like, that's
I'm not surprised that you're tired of it, bro. You've been playing some games.
Yo, I've been in it, bro. I've been in it.
sailing through video games, and we're trying to invite you over, man.
But
Whatever, you'll figure it out.
But
It's
I beat
all right.
Armored Core 6.
Yeah, oh my
2018, bro.
Suck it, bro. You could have done that in front of us. You could have done that with us.
I couldn't bring I'm not bringing the PC.
God damn, yeah,
Yeah.
you and Zach.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
Zach's more willing because he's comfortable enough to take out the graphics card for
Oh
transportation.
no, he won't do it.
He told me, he said maybe on the phone, but then I guess probably he looked at it, he's like, no.
No, I don't even want to ask him. I don't want to ask him.
He thought about it because he was like, we can play Lives of P. I'm like, are you cool with transporting? He was like, I can take out the graphics card. I'm like,
Really?
yeah, and I'm like, I don't know, Zach. That's up to you, dog. Like, I want
Not worth
it.
it. Not worth it.
And then, like, what if anything happens over there too? Like, nothing's ever happened, but you never know.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be paranoid the whole night, and yeah.
All right.
But yeah, fucking.
Aliens.
The government's been.
Fucking do it, right?
So you know what's weird? Now that they're talking about aliens, like I feel like I'm such a contrarian because like I used to think there's aliens, and now that they're
You
telling
don't
me,
think there's
hold,
aliens?
hold on, I know there's life out in the universe. Have they talked to us? Here's why. Back when they were saying there were no aliens, I'm like, there's obviously aliens. And now they're like, there's aliens. I'm like, I don't know if I believe you.
Was there something like super recent that I didn't hear about?
They've been doing
Yes.
stuff on.
There was
Like
there-
I know there was like
I
hearings
saw
and shit.
there's one dumb thing that I saw that was obviously dumb. It wasn't like a government thing. It was like this dude, this I don't know, cryptozoologist or whoever they were, not zoologist, whatever, fucking
Yeah.
cryptid.
Cryptid guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sort of. Yeah, it was like he made a big deal about this footage, and it's like obviously not. It's technically a UAE. Is that the acronym?
I don't know. What UFO?
Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Okay.
UAP. UAE is a country, but
Bill, I have to say, right? You're high as shit, dude. I had to fucking say it, dude. It's like
it is hitting me.
This is against
Fuck,
the
so you
grain
can
after
tell.
dark, ladies and gentlemen.
I just like
So you can tell
I can hear
easily.
it. I can hear it. I can see it.
Oh, I can
Like,
see it from here, bro. Your eyes get all like.
Getting after it, dude. Both of us have been like had to be like, all right, let's put that down. You know,
Glad
Dude,
everybody.
I did. I think I did a lot. Yeah.
I think. What do you think? What do you think about what we don't know about aliens coming around? Like when Neil deGrasse Tyson makes his points about why isn't there clear footage and why haven't we captured things?
I've watched that too. Yeah, no,
And it seems it's kind of to me like ghosts. There's almost so much evidence that it's strange that we haven't figured out that whether or not it's true.
I have a very good point for this. So I'm basically stealing this from Joe Rogan, but So he made an analogy one time that was like, people say, why don't the aliens just come down to like the White House and just talk to the leader or something? Like, why don't they just try to,
Well, there's a thing for that. You guys ever seen that?
What?
I think it was the Truman administration. There was a released document about them doing business with the Greys.
Really?
Yeah, you can look that up very easily, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know whether
Is this like a fake release document?
I don't know. It's very well known.
Okay.
Wow. But basically the whole thing is like, why don't they just come down to the White House and just talk to the president? And he basically said, like, when you go fishing, do you go down to the president of the lake? No, you rip some of them out of the water, you fuck with them for a little bit, and then you throw them back. And they're like, what the fuck just happened? That's what the aliens do with us.
That's a cool analogy.
Yeah, I know. I heard that. I was like, holy shit.
I feel like it's not far from the truth.
That's what I was like, holy shit, it makes perfect fucking sense.
Personally, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. I'm done. Yeah.
I personally, I didn't believe aliens had visited Earth before when the government was denying it, and I don't believe it now. Now, here's the thing. I think there's life out there in the universe. I think there might be very primitive life in the solar system other than Earth, but I don't. And I don't think we've been like visited by intelligent life from outer space.
I'll even go as far as saying like it's possible that we were made by aliens, but they left us a long time ago. If that's true,
I just think there are too many things that we can't explain. I think there's too many documented things with a whole lot of witnesses that and it might be military vehicles, it might be some other things. Also, fucking UFOs with lights. If you could travel across space, why would you have lights? Why would we be able to see these things? So there's a degree.
Right. Why would they have things that would make them obvious to see?
Right. Where military vehicles might be obligated to have lights on them because they're flying through regular airspace. So if you're looking at like these light up fucking UFOs, that is kind of less believable to me.
Right.
Who knows?
Well, there's certain stories like. Have you guys ever heard of the story of that lady in Manhattan with the white dress? There was a lady in like downtown Manhattan or something, and there was like something like 30 witnesses. Okay, this is a city. All right, this is fucking populated. Something like 30 witnesses of her getting basically abducted through a fucking window, right? And they've never like found I don't know. Just the fact that there's like 30 different people who, by the way, were all at like very different distances from each other. None of them knew each other beforehand, and they all agreed on what they saw of basically a fucking saucer ripping this lady out of the window.
I don't know. I think it's another one of those things.
Yeah.
It's like flat Earth theory. Like I don't think that I would ever believe it generally, especially given all the evidence that's around us. But I definitely think in terms of how space works, how the barrier between space and us works, general shape of the Earth, how it moves and stuff like that. Not only is there enough unknowns that I don't think that we could quite define it, especially because if you look at all of the science that we're encountering these days, it's kind of groundbreaking. So, like, stuff like physics is being questioned these days. So I can imagine that there is something weird about space, about our relationship with it and stuff like that.
Oh, there's definitely some mystery to the universe still. Like, we haven't discovered everything. We're very...
Not even the oceans, we're right here, and we haven't been to every corner.
Yeah.
Not even fucking close.
Yeah. Like, JWST, showed heavily developed galaxies like 13 billion light years away.
How gorgeous is that, though? I'd like to comment on JWST.
Yeah.
I don't really track scientific events, but that thing being built and sent out into space and being so much more powerful than Hubble, fucking cool shit. That's cool. That is awesome.
Yeah, the images.
And the pictures are just
crisp,
like nothing else.
Fucking like that galaxy, those galaxies it's showing. So like when you're looking back and when you look out in space, the further you look, the further back in time you're looking. So when we're looking at a galaxy 13 billion light years away, it's 13 billion years ago that's what that looked like. That's the beginning of the universe. There shouldn't be galaxies that developed from what we thought. And now it's coming into question a lot of things. Things about the Big Bang, things about the age of the universe. Every time it seems like we turn around a corner, it's not what we thought it was, which is cool.
And it makes sense too, because if we're talking about just humanity, I mean, us as a species have only been around for what, like 100,000 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And like we've been civilized for probably about like 5,000 of those. So to think that we have even close to like all the answers, like it's wild.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
like I would not be surprised if Big Bang was like wrong.
yeah.
Like
True.
all the information we have.
That's
now,
the history of science. You know, a lot of science people that in early science, like when it was starting to get going, there are a lot of ideas that are wrong and that we had to correct. We used to think that like
You think the Earth is flat?
we used to think that based on the shape of your head, that would mean certain things like your personality, how intelligent you were. Like the shape of your head, like dictated that. That's what we used to believe.
Crazy now.
It's called phrenology. All right, it's a bunch of bullshit. So it's obviously it's a bunch of nonsense. But man, is that kind of funny for us looking back now? But they didn't really. For them, it's. I mean, it was okay. It's kind of stupid even for them. I'm not gonna lie. Oh yeah.
Well, I think that generally, it's another one of those topics that we believe inherently because maybe science says it. You know, it's something like
I see what you're saying.
You know, like the
here's this,
or the galaxy revolves around the Earth. You know, stuff like that. Like, you know, the Earth is the center of the universe. It's like those are things that people widely believed. And then when they came out with different theories that turned out to maybe be true, stuff like gravity or stuff like, you know, the rotation of the planets and stuff like that, people don't want to accept it. It's new, unknown knowledge. And apparently, you know, from what we kind of see throughout history, scientists and anybody in any profession are generally pretty competitive. So when they come out with something like a new theory and they don't want to be laughed at by their peers, especially if you look at, I mean, I just see through like, you know, like media, you know, like shows and stuff like that, but it looks like they had to sit in almost like a courtroom and all talk about a subject. You would just stand in front of a bunch of scientists at a university and pitch an idea when they're all like, they want to be the best at what they're doing.
It's crazy that fucking Cambridge. Is it Cambridge? It is Cambridge. That,
what are you talking about?
So that it's a university.
Oh yeah,
Cambridge University. They were like Cambridge was happening while the Aztecs were doing their thing. Like
true. I think so. I think there's some years of overlap. Yeah.
Yep. Fucking. But where was I going with that? Fucking but.
I can't tell you, dude. I'm too hot.
Yeah, me too, man. Fucking.
I can barely stay in the here and now.
When it comes before I got up, we're talking about like the age of the universe. Like Billy, did you mention the Big Bang Theory? You like the static Big Bang Theory?
No. Is that
now? I need to know.
Hold on.
Yeah, talk about that. Billy.
It's the idea that it's an idea that's fundamentally with the singularity Big Bang. You have like a sort of origin point with the singularity kind of Big Bang. The idea of like a singularity, a literal like point, and then the universe expanding from there. There's the newer kind of idea that I've heard that it's better to imagine it like the Big Bang happened everywhere all at once. That way there is no center, because the big thing is like, is there like a center of the universe? And the idea is no, there's no like center of the universe.
Okay, but if everything was created at once, then that means that there's an end too.
There's definitely an end.
Well, I thought it was infinite. That was the whole thing.
Einstein actually had, like, he was, believe it or not, I actually read this on him recently. He was more partial to the eternal universe theory. Like, even with all his equations, he still thought the universe didn't have a beginning or an end.
It's better to think, okay, so it depends on what you guys think. A lot of scientists think the universe is infinite. Now, I'm not sure if you guys are on that
I thought
camp.
that was like the general consensus, right?
Yeah, that it is truly infinite.
Well, hold on. So they call it infinite But also, it's weird. There's the infinite universe theory, but then it's also accepted the universe is infinite, and all it means, when they say that, it's like most people just kind of mean that the universe is growing faster than you could ever get to its edge. So in a sense like that, it's infinite.
So it's only infinite under conditions.
True.
Yeah,
That,
like
okay,
relative.
so
But I think that also, like, if you were to look at anything that reflects in life, everything ends, basically.
Yeah.
Any equation that isn't solved essentially goes on forever, which is generally infrequent, I would imagine, other than, like, putting in repeated numbers.
There's pi. The pi is infinite.
You know,
decimals.
it's one of those examples of it.
yeah,
But I think it's kind of
we call those irrational numbers.
to me. In order for anything to begin, it has to end.
But it's not
It's under
necessarily
the conditions of existing in general.
so. I don't personally fall to the eternal universe theory, but I think I'm more favorable to it. But when it comes to the Big Bang, if I assess that, I do believe in the singularity Big Bang. I just happen to think that we're wrong about the age of the universe.
Now, okay, so the big fundamental difference, I just realized, a good way to describe it, there's the idea of, like, the universe. People talk about, like, size. It's growing. It was small then, and it's big now. A lot of scientists, they think about that. They disagree with that. The idea is the universe was infinitely big when it was a second old, when it was half a second old. It's always been infinitely big. So when you think about it like that, it kind of in your mind is basically the same thing as the universe in a way is already there, and the Big Bang is happening everywhere all at once.
Well, that's implying that it's not growing.
Well, there's different types of infinity. And
I was gonna say growing means, you know.
Yeah, it's actually true. You can be infinite and growing.
Well, there's there's another take on that.
How though?
Well,
I would like to ask, how can you be growing?
Yes.
I can actually.
Well, infinity's always
Because if you're
growing.
infinite, then you're just like it's basically omnipresent.
There's different sizes of infinity.
True.
Because infinity, if it's measured in any other way, means you can't reach the edge.
Because
It's not technically defined.
I heard there's
Infinity,
the analogy that I heard was basically like if you took Earth, right? Like the distance from Earth to the edge of the universe is infinite, okay? The distance from one end of the universe to the other is also infinite, but they're different sizes. That's how it's explained to me.
But to be defined as anything but limitless,
There's different perspectives
be-
in the scientific community
because
there's
we can't reach the edge of a thing doesn't mean that it is infinite.
some scientists take it that way. It's just it's weird the way.
For us, it would be like utilitarily, you know, like objectively, it's infinite for humans.
It's relative. It's relatively
right,
infinite.
but that it also is like leans towards some of the questions that I feel like humanity is not going to be able to answer.
No,
I feel like it's good that we pursue it, but I think that in terms of defining the universe as infinite or finite in any way is just some of the things, especially within our age, that we're not going to ever.
Fun to think about, though.
I mean, I do think it's fun to think about. I have a general opinion about it, you know, but I do think defining it as infinite is kind of hard.
Well, there's also another. So Einstein, the way he thought of his eternal universe was that the universe always began. Just all the matter that is scattered throughout it was the Big Bang. Think of the Big Bang as an event that happened in an already existing infinite universe. That what we perceive as the universe is actually sitting on like we're a carpet on a floor, essentially. The floor is the universe, the fabric of space and time. And time and space have always been infinite, but what we are is the bubble that happened.
Like our perceivable universe.
Yeah, like think of
it's like a part of a bigger.
the way I heard it explained was like an air bubble in water. That's the way I heard it described, like an air bubble just inward, just kind of floating to the top.
Which is, I mean, that would make sense because I mean, shit just gets bigger and bigger. You know, we go from planet to solar system to galaxy, and so on. So that's just what's outside of our perceivable.
Think of it. It's like we're thinning out. That's
like as a bubble expands in water, like you know how
it's the same amount of air. It's just thinning out.
Yeah, as the density around it is decreased.
Right.
We're like that's the way Einstein kind of worded his
Which is why I think that's true, right? I think it is.
sense.
It starts out. You start out with a certain density, and as the universe ages, things are just becoming. The universe is becoming less and less dense. Like things are becoming further away from each other.
Yep. Yeah. So, but yeah, he described it as like the water is the actual universe, like the platform of which what we perceive to be our universe is on. Kind of like the bubble in the water. The bubble is what we perceive to be the universe, but the water surrounding it is actually the universe.
Yeah.
But inside our bubble, we might have different time. We might have different physics.
Expand outside of the bubble, like when you like
I'm talking about the
reach
universe.
into the when you reach into the universe and you put yourself out there, like do you not like feel like there's an end? Like you feel like it's like it just goes forever.
I never felt that way about it.
That's
I felt
what I'm
like
saying. Like,
things
it's so,
end, but
that's I don't feel that way either.
I think we are just on a stage in an infinite theater. I think the theater itself is eternal, but the individual stage is
A certain size,
no a certain like
diameter.
no timing. Like every stage eventually dies, but the theater remains.
I think at the highest place that you can take yourself. So like if you were to think about gods in like video games, the God of War games, you got like Ares, the God of War, you got basic gods, you got gods of like weather and stuff like that. So put yourself above that. Now you're the god of like the galaxy, and then you expand past that. You're the god of the universe. Now you're thinking about all these things. You have all these capabilities. If you were to push yourself to the apex of that, in terms of like what I can wrap my brain around, you are the thing that governs like this space, like the universe, which to me means that it is contained because it's a thing that can be thought about, right? It's not limitless. And so this God, all that it can do now is create situations to learn about itself. Like it has nothing else once you get to that point.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. We never really get too spiritual on here, but like you and I have talked about that same idea where it's like have I ever showed you that video of the egg? I showed you that.
Yes. Dude, I know. I love that shit.
Yo,
yeah.
that's
Josh,
a
you
good
know
one.
this video?
It's very so. Basically, it starts off with a person dying.
Hold on, just really quickly. I just realized this would be hard to do justice.
I can do this justice.
Okay.
Don't
Sorry.
go after my storytelling skills. Hold on.
but it's such
You
a
got
good
it. You got
video.
about 10 minutes. I gotta leave it too.
All right. So basically, a person dies. When they die, they're greeted by this presence that follows them, talks to them, goes over their death, goes over their life, and as they start talking as they're talking, they kind of tell them like, so what happens next? The man asks, and the person the presence that's with him says, well, you're gonna be reincarnated. We're going to put you in like 400 AD. You're going to be a Chinese girl in this one. He's like, why am I going backwards in time? He's like, time is not linear. Like
That's a cool thing.
it's like
I'm so sorry.
fourth dimensional shit, but
He's like, yeah.
fourth
Name drops.
It's like isn't like that's the idea of the
Oh, I'm sorry, sweet.
isn't the idea that in a black hole, space and time they switch, and so in a black hole, your space becomes your time, and your time becomes your space.
Yeah, you can't wrap your fucking head around it.
Yeah. The idea is like you can move. You know how you can move in space like freely,
Billy.
3-dimensionally.
I got to tell the story though before
Yeah,
that.
there's a little bit more to this.
So
Okay.
sorry.
So basically, the idea in the egg is that this presence that's guiding you through each of these lives. He also says that like you are everybody. You're just this person living in this life in a different body.
Right, like the universe learning about itself.
Yeah,
That's
learning about
the
itself.
key part.
All
Yeah.
one.
So, and then they keep exploring this, and he's like, well, what am I? What am I going to become? And they show a picture of an egg, and it's like, you are one of us. Like you're going to become one of us. Right now you're a fetus. Like so. I've always liked that idea spiritually of like the universe being conscious and
I'm pretty sure that's like the egg theory. It's not like 1-to-1, but it's a very fundamental thing for like Buddhists. Like I think that's a lot of what they
Yeah,
believe.
because they believe in reincarnation.
Yeah, and it was like just the whole idea of you get reincarnated into every soul, and at the end you basically become a god. That's a big thing in Buddhism. I'm pretty sure.
Hinduism.
You don't become a god.
What? Oh,
yeah.
Not in Buddhism.
No. I looked into Buddhism for a while.
And
I think it's a thing that I think it's an extreme. I think it's the right answer for some people, and I think it's a good idea for others.
Yeah.
Like it is. If you look into it, it's very, very hard to do what they're trying to accomplish. It's very much just letting go of the I of the person. Like when you get hurt, like most people think I hurt. It's removing
Right.
like attachment from suffering, from the general emotions. It's like what sort of like a Jedi is defined as in Star Wars.
Becoming truly like detached.
Taking away from the passion, the this, the that, understanding that you are inexperienced, part of the experience, and kind of just moving forward as a clean thing. And it is, I think, extremely hard for people to accomplish. They like to look into it, but the true teachings are wild. The books thousands of pages. People think the Bible is kind of thick. Holy shit! The Tibetan and I forget what the other Nepal, though the places where those texts were written, I mean, it's huge. My apologies. Yeah,
No, you're good.
Yeah.
You said Buddhism, Hinduism. That's all about the reincarnation, though. I don't think Buddhism actually talks about that.
No, there's reincarnation in Buddhism.
Is there?
Yeah.
I always thought that was kind of separate. I thought that always got
There's
mixed up.
both have reincarnation.
I thought when they spiritually detached, they just went off to a better place.
In Buddhism, I think the difference is Hinduism is polytheistic.
Yeah.
There's
where I fucked up was the god.
Well,
part. Buddhists don't have gods. Hindus have a lot.
Buddhists technically don't even have gods. Technically, it's not a religion.
It's just a prophet.
It's a
Yeah.
well.
I mean,
Technically,
it's definitely.
Well,
a religion.
didn't the Buddha say that he was not a prophet?
you can have a religion.
They say a lot of things. They say a lot of things.
Yeah, you can have a religion without a god.
Yeah, it's essentially Jesus
Like,
for
it's
another.
I'd see it more
religion.
as a philosophy. That's the way it's always been described to me. It's not a religion; it's a philosophy. Which I mean, you can derive from almost any religion, but I think because it has the absence of a deity, I think it falls more underneath a philosophy for me.
Are you going
I meant to say the Buddha. He didn't claim to be divine. I think that's one of the things that's notable about him.
Yeah,
he didn't come and say like, "Hey, I'm part of this divine thing."
The people do sort of make the religion as well, like because like if you want to go like legally, like I mean Buddhism is like a religion, like but at the same time it's like Scientology is a religion, by law.
True.
So
yeah.
like I don't know how much merit you can give that, but yeah, I don't think that I don't think it really needs to have a god. I think it's more just something to do with afterlife, something to do with spirituality. Like if a bunch of people come together and say we like this thing, we believe this, like most of the time I think that's good enough for a religion.
Well, there's quite a few of those things that are cults for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
you gotta watch out for that. But
and you grow a cult big enough, it's a religion. You know.
I mean,
The difference I heard between a cult and a religion was the cult leader still like the cult leader's dead in the religion. That's you have to start a cult and then you have to die for
I
the
don't
cult.
know. The Pope is alive, man. They make another one every.
there's been like fucking 300 of them.
Well, their thing is Jesus. He's just like he's the guy who took over. He was the second.
But he's still alive, dude. He's like a comic book character.
It's more like you started.
He died and they climbed up out of the cave.
J Money. It's like you started a cult. You died, and then Andrew started collecting money from people. That's more accurate.
Let's go back to it's like the Joker, man. He's just an idea. You know, he just spreads through people. Batman, justice, all of it.
Vengeance.
It was good hanging out with you guys. Thank you for having me as a feature.
Yeah, very nice meeting you, man.
Yeah, you as well.
We have a lot of the same like ideologies on shit.
Yeah,
like,
probably. Yeah. It's,
I can tell.
you guys would get along.
You try to stay like bipartisan, sort of.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Whatever I can do to like have a balanced thought on it, if possible.
Just like I feel like you're the same type of person who don't like having like super strong opinions. You get more philosophical. You get more like logical than actually making like opinions or whatever.
Right. Well, I mean, a lot of people like labels. So once you are calling yourself a thing, say, even you have a diagnosis and shit like that, you might not actually be that thing. But then you're, putting yourself in a corner, trying to defend the position that you called yourself. I don't want to do that. And I don't think, maybe I'm full of shit. I probably am. So, but at least I think it's probably an entertaining one.
Oh yeah,
that's some good
for
shit.
sure. Yeah.
Great.
Kinds of topics. I'm sure you guys will continue without
You're
me.
very. I love that you're very thoughtful. You think a lot. I can tell by. I figured that out fairly early on. You think about things. I love how you think about things like if there's free will. I know it was a thing that like a lot of people don't even think about that kind of stuff. Right, like a lot of people, it's like free will. Yeah, duh.
We perceive it as free.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people who there's certain. I think it's like there's different types of people. There's the people that you pose a question like that, like, "Hey, do you believe in free will?" And like they like roll their eyes, duh. It's like those are the type of people they've never even thought about the question, not deeply.
They don't have free will.
All right, but right?
They're scary subjects.
Yeah,
they're scary subjects. Sometimes people have to confine themselves to the space that they can act in.
For versus if you have someone who's thoughtful and let's say like believes in free will, what they're going to say is like, well, I believe it. That like the way they answer, you can tell. It's like they typically will give an answer where it's like you can tell. Okay, they've actually kind of either struggled with it or debated with it, like within themselves. You know what I mean? I don't know.
All right, can I have the raw copy of this? What's up?
You will hear it on the tube. Man.
You're dropping it?
It'll drop.
Awesome. This should be the next one we put out. We should just skip the other ones for now.
You know what? Word. Let's do it.
And maybe you guys get into debate. You're gonna do it till 3 a.m. So you got an hour left.
Right now we're running an hour and 8 minutes.
Yeah, this went well. Good to meet you, buddy. Thank you for having me. Adam, thanks for having me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
this was nice. Some time.
Hopefully we can do it again. Yep. And maybe we can have a plan and do something productive.
Yeah, this was productive, man. It's just good to talk again.
This was fun. Yeah.
It has like the same effect as D&D. You're just sitting bullshitting, smoking.
I thought it was cool. Yeah. And to hear it, it's here. It's on my country.
Yo, that's the scariest part, bro.
On the internet. Jesus Christ.
Yo, I was cringing when I heard my own voice, bro. I don't like it.
I don't want to hear it.
I hate my own voice.
You get used to it after a while.
Yeah.
You get used to your own
You do a little bit. Yeah. But still, I don't like it,
It's just cool to have one of the fucking, goon sessions recorded.
Right? There's a bunch of nonsense. Zach's gonna love it, dude.
It's great. All right, you guys have a good night.
You too.
You too.
You know what? I never even thought about that. Just from my perspective, I've been doing YouTube for so long. It's like I don't even think about hearing my own voice as being something that's ew.
So it's like a psychology with people.
Because now that he said that, I remember a long time ago, I used to be like that, and now it's I give zero fucks. I have not given a single fuck in years.
A fuck about what?
The thought of hearing your own voice on a video or something and being kind of cringing, right?
I see.
I have not had that since I was a little fucking kid.
Holy shit! Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird to think about. I didn't even realize it.
It's me. I'm past the point where I cringe for the most part. I think I'm past that. I don't cringe, but I just think about it logically. At first, I was like that. I would hate my voice in in a visceral way. Now I just hate my voice because logically, I'm thinking. I'm like, yeah, it just doesn't sound as good. Yeah.
Well, for me, the cringe lies way more in what I'm actually saying than my voice. Just I'll look at some of my videos from 4 years ago and be like, why the fuck did I say that? That was so fucking dumb. And there's nothing you can do about it.
That's a different part of it too. So there's the actual hating of the voice, and then there's the regret of saying what you said. I know, I sound like a dumbass.
That's wrong.
But it's post nut clarity basically.
Because I used to be a lot of my videos. I won't even lie, dude. I've been going back on a lot of them, like, because I've been trying to get back into, making YouTube videos and shit. I stopped for, like, a long time, but I've been going back looking at, like, all my old ones, and I've been, like, deleting some of them, because I remember
That's natural, though.
I just used to be, like, like, middle school and, like, early part of high school, dude, I was, like, so fucking edgy. Like, I would just say the most heinous shit and just not care. And now I'm
Me
like,
too.
why the fuck did I say that?
I liked some of that content, though, but I see what you're saying.
Some of it, like, to a degree.
Oh,
Some of it is like, holy shit, man. Like, calm down.
Oh, I said some
Like-
shit that like it verbally felt like I was stabbing somebody in the gut. Like it's like I'm like, and in hindsight, I'm like, how does that? I mean, I kind of am an asshole today, but I am far
Controlled
better.
asshole.
A little more. Like I still like I mean, like Josh said when he first came in, like he mentioned one of the things that I said in previous podcasts
What was that?
about older people.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I fucking hate old people. All right, individuals can be cool. Anyway,
Wait, it's
just
also like
just
not
like as a
like
general group. I mean, like the ones that are like, like an engineer. They have a house. Like the ones that think
you're
they're
not
better.
100% serious. And like
I'm not. All right. I'm
Yeah.
not. But
well, it's like also like
I hate the
generalization. That's all that is.
I hate the
Like,
I hate the stereotype. Like
yeah.
like what the stereotype is. Like that I do. Yeah. For sure.
You
But
also you don't gotta sit here and like, like if you make a statement like that, like, oh, I hate old people, like we don't have to. I think a lot of people would like know what you mean. It's not every old person on the fucking planet. Like,
no, definitely not.
exactly. Like if you actually have to come out and like make that statement, I feel like that's more a problem about the viewer than fucking.
And that's what we're not trying to do here is make disclaimers. Like our culture's filled with that shit today. Like I don't want to set a disclaimer every time I go to say something. I sometimes just want to say an abrupt thought.
Exactly.
Like what? Did nobody have an Uncle Dave? Did no one have an Uncle Dave that sat around a kitchen table at a family event
And
smoking
just drop an
cigarettes?
N-word.
And just
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe not even that, but just like the vile shit we would hear as kids. Like there's a quote from George Carlin about Uncle Dave. he's like smoking. They were standing around a heavenly kitchen table smoking cigarettes, and they were saying vile things like the Jews own everything and the blacks get special treatment. And he's like, my kids don't appreciate me and my wife's cheating on me. I'm like,
Everyone knows someone like that.
yeah, there's plenty of them. I hate those people.
Yeah. Fucking Pierce Hawthorne. I know you watched Community. Did you?
Yeah.
You hate Pierce Hawthorne's.
I really do hate Pierce Hawthorne.
Racist, sexist, fucking rich.
Money
Doesn't give a
grubbing.
fuck about anybody else.
Money grubbing,
Yeah.
uses people and will try to pay off their feelings. Like, oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Man, I wish someone would pay me for my feelings. Fucking heck. Like, I'm due some money, bro. Oh, man. Yeah. When J Money was here, what were we talking about? We were, we were talking about, like, Neuralink and AI.
We
and
talked
all
about a
that
lot of stuff, yeah. We talked about, like, politics. Like, I remember we began talking about some of the pardons, but that transitioned to, like, Biden as a president and then, like, politics in general. Because we were talking about, yeah, I don't know the details.
There's a lot of
enough.
branches.
Yeah. I don't know I don't remember I'm high as fuck right now.
It looks better. It looks less.
Okay, yeah. I am coming down a little bit, yeah, so that makes
Damn,
sense.
so I was
When you
just
say
thinking...
looks, really quickly, when you say looks,
Dude,
what do you mean?
you're doing this shit. Your eyes are fucking red as fuck, dude.
Yo.
You know how to? Your eyes are squinted red as fuck, and you just have a constant smile, dude. Like, it has not gone away.
Your
for
eyes
the past,
are-
like 2 hours.
Yo, your eyes are
Like-
also, like, squinted, like, hard, like where the bottom...
Like right now, though?
Yeah, like, I could so...
Yeah.
If you look at
Really?
the...
Yeah.
If you
Oh,
look
shit.
at the bottom of your eyes too, they get puffier, so it like closes it. Yeah, I know.
I didn't even notice that.
Oh, I'm very perceptive.
Your eyes are pretty puffy right now.
Yeah, it happens when you smoke weed. That's why. If I'm ever a dad, the minute my son comes home high, I'm gonna be like,
Dude,
I know you're high.
"All right, come with me in the garage
you're gonna smoke this whole eighth.
with me."
Yeah.
If you're gonna come, you better come correct, son. We're come here stoned. We're gonna get real stoned, and then We're watching Star Wars.
Literally. It's just funny. The fucking kid thinks that you're gonna be like all mad and shit. It's like, oh well, little Timmy's finally become a man. Like
one of those things, dude. Like, I'll be a little sad. I'll be a little sad that like I wasn't there his first time. I will say, but other than that, I'm also like, well, damn, my son's cool. Like he's out there doing shit. I respect. I was out there doing shit. Damn, chip off the old block. You know that type of shit. Oh god, but yeah.
But of course, like it also has it's
You're good. No, take your time. You get it?
I literally one of the reasons I said is because I literally forgot what I was gonna propose.
Oh yeah, thoughts come in and out, man.
Come and go.
Sentence though, mid sentence. That's kind of impressive. You're gonna forget what because I
started it off.
I knew what I was gonna say.
You ever walk into a room you know what you're gonna get the minute you cross the threshold? You're like, why am I in here?
Yes.
And then one thought pops to your head. Alzheimer's.
No, that's actually common though.
Oh,
That's a common phenomenon.
Still not the best. And you're like, I didn't eggs out of the window. Where did it go?
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I see what you're saying. That's actually, I guess it's like a technique. If you have, stuff like if you're trying to reset your mind, let's say you're like obsessively thinking about something. If you're doing something repetitively, like mind-wise, that's not healthy, and you're trying to reset your mind, one of the things you could do is like move around, but specifically try to walk through archways.
Like literally?
Like try to walk through doorways, because apparently doorways. The reason why that happens, apparently, when you walk into a room and you forget why you're in there, is because a doorway triggers.
Because your brain is thinking, what, like I'm in a new room, so I have a new mission, sort of thing.
Yeah,
like
something like that. I don't know if that's it exactly, but there's like a reason for that. We're conditioned to think this way when we're young, but then paradoxically, it bites us in the ass when at certain times, because you can literally forget like what you're supposed to be doing here in this room you've just entered. Yeah.
And then is that maybe why a lot of time as soon as you leave the room, you remember? Because that happens too.
I think so.
Like I'll fucking be trying to like get something from another room, go in, I'll sit in there for like 2 minutes trying to remember,
and you can't.
And then as soon as I fucking leave, I'll know what it was.
Yeah, because now when you go back to the room, your old kind of mindset, the idea is your old kind of mindset, because you have a mindset related to that room, and so that comes back, and the idea would come back.
I hate how much sense that makes. I feel it's fun. I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things like about doorways.
I think that makes sense too, and it might not be limited to doorways, but when you walk into like a specific area, you might like think about it like this: if you walk into a kitchen every day when you're hungry, well, now you just triggered that. I've walked into a kitchen, like, oh, I'm here to get scissors, so I can go cut something in the living room. But then when I walk in, I'm like, oh, what it quickly like kind of transitioned almost like I was going to go think about food, but then I forgot why I was here. So I'm like, it's like you're training yourself as to a room's purpose. Like I've done that before, where I've gone into the living room too, and also instead of doing what I meant to do, I'm kind of like, TV. I'm gonna chill in my chair. Like
I have to catch myself. Doing that. That happens to me.
Yeah, especially when you're like it could be like a blank thought where I walk into a room and I don't know what's going on, or I could walk in, forget why I'm there, and not even acknowledge that I forgot. Like complete white. Like I don't like whatever happened 5 minutes previously didn't happen, and that's why I end up with unfinished projects.
It's like you go like fuck. Wow. Okay. Speaking of which, holy shit, I don't know what the fuck I was going to say.
Happened to you too.
Yeah.
So,
damn it. That's really annoying.
So, this might help then. When we come across these issues, I've been doing this a long time, boys. So, alright. Let's circle back to the beginning of the podcast when we were talking about AI and Neuralink. Me and Jay Money did a good amount of talking.
Yes, you did.
Well, what are you like? Dan, I know you and I are on the same line here.
I think
but
I think I shared
we're
my
on
belief.
I feel like me and you are very close to the same page, but not really.
So when I said I'm not afraid, I didn't get to finish that thought after you brought it up. And in a sense, I am afraid because I don't want my free will compromised. Or at least Billy,
That's what I mean.
Yeah, like whatever. But in a way, too, it's like right now I don't have a reason to be actively afraid, so I'm not. Right now, I'm more advising that we change course.
See, that's more what that's my point that I was trying to get before was like, because we were talking about, nuclear fallout sort of thing, like them making nukes and shit. And why I think it's different is because a nuke is something that it is physical destruction, okay? You put it in a populated area and it kills people, it destroys buildings, okay? AI is like, we wouldn't really know the danger of it until it's too late.
Yep.
Like, until they've tapped into all of our technology, like, secretly, and they have shit that's going to be able to control us. I'm assuming they'd just be able to, like, flip a switch one day.
Yeah.
And fucking take us over. That's what's scary. And that's honestly, that's worse to me than the nuke. Because at least if we get nuked, we're dead. We don't have to be around for
Or
that.
you have a chance to survive.
Yeah,
Small
but,
chance.
If there's a nuke coming, there's one of two options, right? You either have a chance to survive or you're dead.
Yep.
And honestly, in that situation, one of those is honestly better, okay? But if it's AI, the chances are you're either going to get enslaved or you're going to have to be running constantly from this fucking entity, whatever it is, you know? And either one of those is hell, honestly.
Yep.
Like, that's why it's so fucking scary.
And then there's two parts to what kind of that too. It's like it could be a human doing it and using AI as a tool, or it could be AI gets freed somehow. Like it becomes, and then it takes over. So there's like two options with AI and biotechnologies like Neuralink. Like there's two options that could happen, Nick, and those two are scary enough for me to want to avoid. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, having like an AI like Cortana in my head. Like from the Halo series, like giving me missions and shit, and the cyberpunk biotech, where like I can shoot guns out of my arms and shit, and being able to hack into computer systems, but like using my eyes, like all that cool shit, all for it. Problem is, I don't think they would ever give us that kind of I don't even mean just guns and shit, but just I don't think they would ever give us anything too useful.
Who's they?
I have a they. To me, whenever I say they, I mean the collective between our government and corporations that work together to assure their victory, to maintain their position. So that's always my they.
I kind of believe in a they, but I believe in a soft they. I think essentially, where you have the wealthy and powerful, in a large part in cahoots with a large number of politicians, where the politicians end up doing their bidding more than everyone else, you know.
Yeah,
so
look at Elon Musk.
Yeah,
like him and Trump are like kind of not in cahoots, but like they're fucking friendly, man. They're
it's
friendly.
It's really bad now. It's like it's worse than it's ever been with Donald Trump. But funny enough, this has been a thing since there's been politics, I think. But especially big in America in the last 50 years, with and particularly it's not necessarily like individually wealthy people as it's corporations. Corporations have bought a good chunk of our government, I think. Yeah. I don't think they bought all the government, but I think they've bought essentially a chunk of it. And
you also mean like figuratively, right?
Like
in a way.
In a way, because there's the way it works is the idea is bribery is illegal, and I do think in America it is relatively rare.
Well, bribery that's lobbying, and it's very illegal. I mean, very legal, not illegal.
Hold on.
Unfortunately,
there's bribery in a technical. There's bribery in the broad sense, and bribery in a technical sense. Technically, it's only bribery when like you're in office, someone gives you personally money for your personal account, personal wallet.
Oh no, they do that actively.
Now they do that. I think that's relatively rare.
I don't think that's rare at all. I think that's 90% of what you're going to find if you go to the Capitol building.
Remember,
Behind
the idea is you're accepting this with, and in exchange, you're going to exercise your power as a politician to do their bidding.
Well, hold on. This is not an unwilling participant, though, and that's the main difference. The person that they're giving money to wants to do it because it benefits them. A bribe, it could be more like someone doesn't feel like they have a choice. They have to do this. And it's not necessarily blackmail, but it's a bribe that...
It's the opposite end of blackmail, where instead of a disincentive, it's an incentive.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But both the politician and the corporation have an understanding, and they have like interests. So so it's not an unwilling thing. So I think I in my opinion, lobbying is nothing more than bribery, especially when you look at lobbyists, and they will literally drop money into people's accounts.
Yeah, and that's I believe there's more than that.
Well,
now,
they also give them stocks.
It's more that than like personal bribery. By the way, lobbying, no, like it is technically illegal to do what you just said there.
What, lobbying?
No,
that's allowed. They're perfectly allowed to drop money into accounts, give stock options. Hell, the person in charge of the FDA for years was...
you're allowed to donate to someone's campaign.
Well, hold on. That's also...
And you're allowed to give them gifts, but you have to report those gifts, and those gifts are supposed to be tracked.
It depends on what they're giving. Stocks aren't taxed. So...
No, but like...
Stocks and jobs. Did you know... you cut me off, but did you know... for years, I forgot what corporation you work for, but for the fuck of it, I'm just going to say Kraft, because I think that's what it was, but I could totally be wrong. But the person who was in charge of the FDA worked for a major food company as their lawyer. So when he, so it's like not only are they being lobbied, but they also work for these people. Like, I think that's a hefty majority, and you got to consider too. In order for a politician to get ahead, realistically, they kind of have to delve into some corruption in the first place just to get ahead, just to be able to get to become a senator.
Well, how's that?
Well,
yeah, I guess it helps. Definitely helps.
You are not going to rise to power from some city clerk position with flyers. You need advertisement. You need friends.
Yeah,
advertisement.
How is advertisement corruption?
Well, advertisement's money. Someone needs to pay for their advertisement, and then there's also media outlets, and there's just friends. Having friends in high places allows you to meet other people. Half of being a politician is networking.
Yeah. And
by networking and making friends, you have to do things to make friends. So I think in order to advance in your career, like, how are you going to get, like, if you're on for mayor, well, you're going to want to know the business owners of the biggest businesses in the town you're running for. You want to know them personally, and you're going to want to do favors for them. You're going to want to invite them to your damn country club meeting. You're going to want to shit the breeze, and you're going to want to fucking...
True.
Yeah. I want to say that, I want to bring up an example. How much do you know about Pete Buttigieg?
I never even heard that name until just now.
No?
That doesn't sound familiar.
Mayor Pete?
What?
Oh, Mayor P. Okay, that's how I know
it.
him.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't, I'm assuming that he did have enough money for, like, campaigning and stuff, but, like, the whole thing about, like, friends in high places, I don't know if that really applies to him, because this man almost went from mayor, and then had a really good run trying to run for fucking president in 2020. Like,
well, that media is also gets weird when you start introducing media into things, because he kind of got famous or infamous.
I mean, yeah,
it well known. People vote for the known name, and having friends in high places can help spread your name. Just having people being aware of you gives you opportunity. Like, and
Trump would have never got in.
No, if he wasn't, if he was
just some random fucking like businessman in New York, he'd be nothing right now.
No, it's his fame that got him where he's at. And you
Oh, I
kind
didn't mean that. I meant fame, but
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's his fame that got him to where he's at.
I
Yeah.
thought you said family.
No, not family.
Yeah.
His dad wasn't that wealthy. His dad was wealthy, but his dad wasn't billionaire status wealthy. His dad was a
I
millionaire.
don't think Trump is a true billionaire.
No, he's worth about right now. He
$4 billion.
6 point something.
No, that's like what he says he's worth or something. That's not. That's a
No,
lie.
he's
I
Six
think
is wild.
people
I thought-
have estimated his net
That's
worth.
I mean
to
that's
be,
not much when you look at Elon Musk and the dude and Jeff Bezos who
Yeah,
are
'cause
worth
it's literally the richest people on the planet. Like Trump is a billionaire.
Technically-
He's not like.
technically no. There are richer people than
Oh yeah, well they're all in like fucking like Saudi Arabia and shit, right?
Yeah,
All those,
people
like,
with-
princes and shit.
fucking
Yeah.
old money.
People put their shit in like because they don't have to put out like their income to anybody. So people estimate that their net worth is like in the trillions. Like it's fucking insane. Like they have just like you ever seen those like big fucking like white palaces they have? Like the size of like fucking football stadiums? Like they have multiple of them. Like one person could have multiple of those
Yeah.
and still have a bunch of other shit.
A lot of their
It's
wealth,
crazy.
a lot of those people in like the Middle East and those parts of Asia, a lot of them have like one old money, but two, most of their wealth is in gold and other resources too.
Yeah.
Like just not stocks, not a lot of our wealthy people. Their wealth is invisible, doesn't actually exist. Technically, it's all in stocks. It's all in stuff that if the computers got wiped out, they'd have nothing to show for it. At least this dude has a tiger and like a vault of gold.
Palace.
Yeah, like a literal like what's Bezos got? His mansion, his yachts. I can sink a yacht. Like, give me 10 minutes. Like,
Give me 10 minutes.
give me 10 minutes and like access to like a Minnesota fireworks store.
And just for the record, yeah, Trump's net worth is like $7 billion right now. It went up a lot, dude.
He's
well,
like,
where
it
do
was
you
like-
wait? But like, what? Who's
hold on,
claiming
everybody,
it? What?
Billy, everybody's wealth has to be recorded, technically. So a lot of that information is publicly accessible.
Yeah, it's multiple sources, man. Yeah, it's like 6 to 7 billion range. Yeah.
Wait, is that? Hold on. That some of that might be because of the, believe it or not, the meme coin. The meme coin that Trump released.
Are
You didn't hear
fucking
about
kidding me?
this?
I
He
know
released
I'm not.
Trump released a fucking cryptocurrency, dude.
I didn't hear
Did
about
was
this.
Trump fucking crypto scamming people? What
He's
happened
about
with
a crypto
this? Holy,
scam.
is he about to pump and dump fucking America, dude? Are you fucking kidding me?
Dude,
How is this not like, how have I not heard about this?
it's about to be it's gonna be
Oh my
fucking
God.
epic. Now, I don't know if they're
It's
gonna
gonna be epic.
pump and dump it. They
I would not
might
be
do
surprised.
that.
I
I would
gotta-
not be surprised.
So I got a question. Why are people scared that Musk is like an economics advisor for Trump? Because
Because this
That's
is
what he
absurd.
said. That's what Trump said it would be.
but yeah,
Obviously,
well,
Musk is gonna.
Well, every president
advise
has every
for
president
things
has
and-
one. I mean, Biden had like some oil dude. Like everybody has one.
True,
But
yeah.
but what's so wrong about Musk? Because like I'm not seeing it, dude. Like out of all the rich people on the planet, he's the only one actually trying to be progressive. Space travel, like fucking biotechnology. Like he's actively trying to pursue the future, and all Jeff Bezos does is move boxes across the country.
Really
Yeah, no
quick,
one talks.
I hate Jeff Bezos way more than I hate Elon Musk.
Really
like-
quickly, didn't you say you don't like Neuralink? You know that
Well,
that's
hold on.
Elon
I
Musk's
am.
companies.
Like I said, I'm still a like. He hasn't released it to the public, so I can't hate. But it's cool that he's working on something like that. I'm still a nerd. I still love the idea of robot shit. I just don't want certain people that I don't trust humanity as a whole to develop that technology correctly at the moment.
Because you saw the first guy that got it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and fucking Joe. I mean, the shit that they were using that for was like, pretty. I think like a net good. Like they had what was it? Some like was he like quadriplegic, something like that, and he could like do things in like a computer and shit. Like he was. It's funny. He was playing video games. You guys hear about that?
No, I heard it. Someone had it installed. I didn't hear too much about like the details.
the Neuralink guy. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast. He's a quadriplegic.
I did not hear about this.
And
Damn.
yeah, it's do a lot of things. That's how he moves his fucking wheelchair around. That's how. And the one thing that stuck out to me, that like stuck with me, is that he does play video games with it, and it's like basically like cheating. Like he just has a constant aimbot. Like he literally because he plays like CS:GO and shit, and he will literally look at a person's head and they will die. Like it's fucking yeah.
That's kind of.
But I know, it does like genuinely help people for the moment. I don't know if he's the only guy that has it. I know he was the first guy that had it. But
Yeah, I didn't hear too much about it myself, but that's why I can't hate on him too much. He's the only, like, all Jeff Bezos does is move boxes across the country and pay people very not well. And then you have like guys like Zuckerberg who are trying to censor people and shit like that. It's like, out of all the rich people, why are we hating on the spaceship guy? Like, oh, he wants to go to Mars. I've heard that. I want to go to. Well, I don't want to physically go to Mars, but I want humanity to go to Mars. Like,
also some.
Like, and there's people who want to go. Why not let it happen? I don't see why people are so hateful towards Musk. I just don't see it. Like, people will be like, oh, he didn't achieve his wealth honestly. None of them did. But at least he's doing productive things with it. Like, out of all the people to do it, the guy making spaceships and bragging that he took advantage of the system, I'm fine with it. That's better than someone who's like, who took advantage of the system, doesn't acknowledge it, and just hides on his yacht, Bezos. Like, I don't see it. I really don't. Like, out of all the people
I don't like Elon Musk at all. I'm not gonna lie. I do not like him.
I don't understand.
I'm kind of trying to make an opinion on this because now that I'm thinking about it, like, because I don't really like him too much, but I'm also having a hard time figuring out why.
There's a lot of it is like recent shit, like the fucking. You hear about the Diablo? No, not there. Fuck. There's one it's like Diablo. He does supposedly like actually is like plays Diablo, but like what's it called?
I think it's Diablo.
Do you think like literally the game Diablo?
There's another game, Path of Exiles 2.
There you go.
Path of Exiles 2. He like claimed for both these games. He's claimed for a good bit of time that he's like top, really high, like top, one of the top players. That's what I mean. One of the top players of these games. Which is crazy because, like, to be in the top for these games, you would have to be playing this game almost all the time. Like, there's no way this guy, Elon Musk, has enough time. And, dude, he did a live stream of Path of Exiles 2, dude.
Was he, like, dog shit?
He was fucking dog shit. Dog shit. He didn't know how to do basic things in the game. And his character is level, like, 90, like almost max level. Oh, like one of the highest. He has one of the highest character levels.
He's just straight up lying.
But Billy, again,
he definitely had like a person playing for him. Like he's definitely bought. He bought this account. Like he like, hey, he's paying people to play the game for him.
Why would he do something like that?
Because he wants the image of like, hey, I'm this cool guy. I do business and I'm a top gamer.
I don't think that's what that is. I think you're falling for it, Billy. You're falling
for what?
You're falling for the backlash type people. You're falling for the people who are like, first of all, knowing Musk, probably just fucking around and something like that. You got like I was telling Josh earlier, infamy is still productive.
You think he's doing it on purpose? I don't think he's doing. I think he's trying to not get infamous. He wants to be famous.
I think he's a tactically genius businessman, and every move he makes has an ulterior motive.
I think
fucking-lutely.
You think this man's playing 3-dimensional chess?
No, he's playing.
I think he's playing 1-dimensional chess, Billy, and he's
Billy. I think
not even a good chess player.
I think you think that, but really, he's in 5th-dimensional chess, and you're just like, you don't even know what's going on. You're playing in the 4D chess. You're like, oh man, he sucks. But meanwhile, he's in the 5th dimension. He's actually schooling you. You don't even know it.
And he's playing this game, and he's clearly not played this game very much.
Yeah,
all.
But again.
And he's claiming, like, yeah, I totally did my character. I did this. I made this build. You didn't make this build. You're lying. You're straight up lying.
I've heard it. I know this story, and I'm almost certain he didn't buy the account. He just is dog water because his account wasn't good.
No,
his account wasn't good.
There was the whole Elden Ring debacle.
He might be good at Elden Ring, though. If you played the old Dark Souls games, he might just be good at it.
Here's the thing. He's bad.
Well, I mean, good for him. You gotta remember, he's an old man still. My dad thinks he's good at Madden, but I can fucking whoop his ass at it.
Yeah. It's just old man shit, dude. Build. Now, he did get through the game. But again, he definitely got through the game. Here's the thing. At least that game, I can tell he played. Because his build was dog shit. it reflected his knowledge and skill at the game. He was literally fat rolling in his build. Not the end of the world, but it's pretty bad.
Hold on. Some people do. Again,
Fat rolling, like.
Oh, heavy rolling. Like, people call it fat rolling, but it's actually technically it's heavy rolling.
But-
it's like a slower roll. You want rolls to
Did
be
he just
nice and
max
quick.
out, like you just, like, tank?
Yeah, he was
What's-
super tank.
What's wrong with that?
Well, because if you're wanting a lot of big weapons and heavy armor, or just heavy armor and a lot of tools and weapons, then you need to upgrade your vigor. Sorry, not your vigor, your endurance, so you can have all that weight and bear it, your character. And for the level he had, he didn't have enough carry weight.
I mean, some people just, like, do that, though.
Yeah, some people do.
That-
So yeah, fat rolling
I'm
by
more-
itself.
I'm more
But-
concerned with his actual, like, skill at the gameplay itself.
is it
not really
wrong that I'm
build.
not even concerned
Oh,
with
dude.
his? Is it wrong that I'm not even concerned with any of that? Look, the fact that he said he's good at playing video games and then he's not good at playing video games, to me, that just makes him more human, and it makes me. And honestly, it's
That's
like
such a dumb. That's childish.
no, it's
childish.
That's the problem that I have with it.
That's
It's like,
so childish.
it's like,
Yo,
because
have you
my
s-
dad can live more than your dad.
yo.
Like-
Have you ever? But have you ever you never met a 50-year-old? Like they always think they're the shit, and then they're not. That's like half the. That's like half
no,
of like.
you're talking about Gen X.
Well, that's why I think he's in that He's Gen X.
He is.
He's
Yeah.
an old man.
Yeah.
He's not going to be better at Armored Core than me. He's not. He's not like. In my
Well, like okay, take his Elden Ring build. Freaking, he had
Billy,
multiple weapons and
You're-
shields.
he's still going to go on about this, bro.
No, really quickly.
No,
It
Billy,
didn't
Billy.
make sense. Why does he have a shield? Like all that equipment, he's not going to be using all that equipment all at once.
he's playing the video games like an old man.
Right, and also,
He's
I know
playing-
we were still talking about fucking Path of Exiles. That's why I was
No,
like,
you're talking about Elden Ring, but fucking
Yeah.
Oh,
bro.
But Path of Exiles, that's like someone played for him, 100%.
yeah, that
Someone played
shit.
for
That's the part I don't like. I could give a fuck about Elden Ring.
Because
Yeah.
his account,
That's the other
his
person that I
account
don't
was like number 10 or 9 in the world. So someone very dedicated or a skilled team of people fucking
They got
made-
that shit for him.
they got
Yeah.
that shit for him. Yeah, 100%.
Look. Here's one thing about it. I just don't care. Like to me, that's again, none of that is a judge on whether or not he is good at would he be good at being Trump's economic advisor? I don't see none of that shit matters to me. That's irrelevant to
The
it.
dishonesty, the childishness.
They're all
I guess-
like that. It's just a matter of like how public they are.
No.
Yes.
Okay, here's the thing. I know we knock on Gen X.
I didn't say all Gen X. I'm talking about all rich people, Billy. All the people in power. They're all.
Except Elon Musk.
Well, no, he is too. But again, he's more human about it. Like I could care less about some of these things. It's like Trump's grabbing by the pussy. Do you think I give a fuck about that? Everybody use that as one more reason to hate on. Like that. Like I have other reasons. That is not a valid one for me. It just doesn't do anything to me. It's like it's
I mean,
irrelevant.
potentially,
It doesn't
I could see why
it doesn't-
someone
It doesn't affect
would,
you
yeah.
Bro,
personally, but it's like that's the fact that he says something like that. Do you know why he said that? Like, do you even know what context that's
He was talking about how he could basically
do anything he wanted to female models.
because of his money.
Yeah, that's.
Then
I
that's
don't
factual.
like-
That's factual
Well, yeah,
though.
but like, is that something like? Okay, there's a difference between.
That's like bad.
There's
You're
a
like a
difference
bad
between-
human being if you do
There's
that.
a difference between saying, "All right, I acknowledge that I have a lot of money and I do have a lot of control over people," and then saying, "Grab him by the pussy." Like, there's a difference in attitude there. That's why people don't really fuck with that. you
See,
know?
I don't care about that. That doesn't bother me. Like I've heard way worse, and I've said way worse. And I have to think of all the young politicians. Imagine what's going to happen in 30, 40 years when their Discord chats get leaked. Think about that.
Oh my
That's
God. Yeah,
that's the
by the way,
everyone born after fucking 2005, our digital footprint is fucked.
Yeah,
Oh.
really quickly, grab him by the pussy. Trump said that not when he was a teenager or something. Just
Well, hold on, I didn't say
he
it's
said that
teenager.
within the decade
Yeah, he said-
that he ran for president.
Again, none of that bothers me, Billy. You see, hold on, because it doesn't matter if you're 60 years old. Here's a fact. A lot of people have this misconception about us adults. I'm here to let you in on a little secret. I'm eternally 19. even when I'm 60, I'll be 19. And I've had confirmation from other old people, like, dude, I turned 18, and then here I am, like, 80 years old. I don't know how it happened. Like, all adults are faking it. All adults are children. We just learn to be better sometimes.
Learn from mistakes.
Learn from mistakes. When you're wealthy, you're not put in a position to learn from your mistakes. So a lot of the people who are wealthy tend to be childish because they never really been pushed in a position to learn from their mistakes other than like bad business decisions and things like that. Yeah. But how they treat people, but like locker room talk wise, like saying shit like grab by the pussy. Like
can you acknowledge that that's not a very fucking good thing to say? Like I can acknowledge it. I mean, obviously it doesn't really affect us personally. But
I will say this. This is my compromise on it. Sure, not great to say, maybe. But maybe there shouldn't be so many gold digging hoes out there. Maybe.
See, now that's wild.
The hard part.
That's fucking wild to me.
That's how are you going to chase after a man because of his money, because of his status, because of his wealth, his influence? Chase after that so you can get close to that. Use your body and your sexuality to achieve that, and they get mad when he starts materializing you, or whatever the word is.
Hold on, really quickly. Trump said that he was doing this to models.
Yeah, because why do you think the models were on? We have to ask the question. If he said grab him by the pussy, why was their pussy in arm's reach?
Okay,
that's the question.
That's ridiculous.
But you're not serious with that. You're not fucking serious with that. Like,
in a way, there are women like that who do go after wealthy men.
It wasn't that. It literally wasn't that.
Hold on. I remember this.
He has a beauty
did say it was like
pageant
after.
company.
He was talking about like an after party he went to.
Yeah, he has a beauty pageant company.
He literally the way he described it was literally just like he could go up to some random woman at a party and just grab her by the pussy.
He was talking about a night at the club. That's different. Like he was talking about something like that. He was at a after party, and he was talking about that night basically. And yeah, he's just definitely
that night.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he's done. This is nothing new. I'm sure this is nothing new. He's been probably doing this since he was in his 20s. But yeah, his wealth and power. He has anybody with that kind of shit. Just like Josh was saying, that's why. And like I said earlier, I know the monster in me. That's why I don't like people having that kind of power and wealth. But they're putting that. He's in that position, and he's obviously going to do shit like that, just like all of them do. It's just a matter of how public it is. Our digital footprint is fucked. The people who were... think of the politician years from now when they're like, oh yeah, we have you back in 2015 on the Xbox Live chat.
No.
Yeah, that's
oh my God. The amount of middle-class white kids that said the N-word on that.
True, yeah.
I'm just saying, maybe we shouldn't be so hypocritical.
I see what you're saying, and by the way, I'm actually a little bit on your boat where it's like I believe that people can like change. Like, there's a lot of things we say that we regret, and in a way, like you kind of don't want to take people to raise the bar so high because, like, yeah, people make mistakes, people say and do dumb shit. At the same time, you know, it is at a certain point, it's like. At a certain point, someone crosses the threshold. It's like, no, it's not that guy. It's not like, oh, a couple years ago he said some dumb shit. It's like, no, he is just a dumb shit.
Because this is the assumption that, like I said a few minutes ago, people in positions of power and positions of wealth are less likely to learn from those mistakes because those mistakes tend to have less.
So they are dumb.
Or less. I've been saying this for years that most wealthy people are fucking stupid.
So Elon Musk is stupid.
But Elon Musk is one of the few that are actually smart. And he's at the very least, even if he's not actually smart, he knows how to employ smart people. He knows how to take a vision and make it happen. That
I can kind of meet you there a little bit. Yeah.
And the vision he has is far more productive than most of others out there. Reusable rockets. Yeah. That is so big.
I'll agree with you on that.
Yeah. That is nice.
Like, there's a lot of good he's doing when not a lot of people in his position are doing that.
I guess the shit... See, because there are reasons to not like Elon Musk, but I feel like the shit that you can talk about him is, like, really... Like okay, like, the big example for me, I don't like what he did with Twitter. Like, that's kind of a big thing. I mean, that's one of the biggest social media platforms, like, on the fucking planet. But at the same time, it's like really not as big of a deal as like all the shit he's doing in space. Like all that shit is, didn't they just land like a new like rover or something like last week?
Yep.
Like they're making good advancements in that. So even though Twitter's like a big thing, it's like, how mad can you really be about it?
And then, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna front. So I remember because technology. I'm a little bit older than you guys. You especially. So like, technology and social media has been way more a part of your life ratio wise than mine. And I watched social media come into existence. Watched that, and I remember sitting in the living room one year when I was like in middle school, watching the news. And the news anchor said, "Okay, and don't forget to like us on to like us on Twitter. Hashtag this, whatever." I remember just cringing. Like I hated the hashtag thing. I hate the Twitter thing. I hated it. So when Elon Musk bought it and crushed it, I was in love. I was like,
yeah, but he didn't, because he really did crush. He really did just like fucking ruin it.
Well, hold on, like not in a way though. So some people call failure. If you look, it depends how you look at it. Because what he did was he made it he took it from a public company to a private company, and he was able to file on the taxes for that company a $25 billion loss. And I don't know if you know this, but when companies are at a loss, they get a lot of tax breaks, so they get paid for by the government. And he's able to use those tax breaks on other companies.
So he's just like
he's gutting it. He's basically stripping it for parts.
So he found legal tax evasion.
Oh, that's a well-known trick. That's my company does it, the one I work for. Our DC's at a loss.
It's legal.
Yes, perfectly legal. Our warehouse.
That's wild.
Our warehouse specifically runs at a loss.
He bought Twitter to lower taxes. That's crazy.
Yep.
That's fucking insane. I never realized.
Smart business tactics. And
is that like the only fucking reason?
Wait a minute. Didn't he also want to buy out, get bowed out from the deal? And
no. Hold on.
There was a bit of a feud with the buying.
Yeah.
So
apparently Elon Musk was like trying to be like, I don't actually want to buy
What's
Twitter.
It called? Not a debate. What's it called? Like what is that called?
Filibuster?
No, like when you see the guy auction. That's what it was. There was a bit of an auction when Twitter was going on.
Well, technically, Elon Musk bought it and then sold it to one of his. Like he sold it to one of his companies. So X is owned by one of his companies. So there's a weird. It's a way to avoid taxes, and also by taking it from
I'm sure
public company to a private company,
there
was a stock market advantage to it. I don't know how that whole thing worked, but he basically going from a public company to a private company, he's able to profit off the stocks. No, he's just a fucking.
I'm not sure if he's profiting from Twitter.
No,
Twitter probably is not making him very much money right now.
One of my things with it was that
it's a good investment for him in general, though.
He kind of ruined it in a sense of like, because you know how, I mean, we all have this problem now. I think we can all agree that like social media and like mainstream news and all that, you can't trust it. Okay, you can't trust any of it. You don't know where all of this information is coming from, right? Elon Musk made that problem like 10 times worse. Because you know the whole thing about the check mark? Like you can, so obviously you guys know on Twitter, you get enough following, right? You can apply to have the check mark and just be like, you're a famous person, like they know this is you, right?
Yeah.
Musk made it. I don't know if it's still like this, but I know it at one point was where you can literally just buy a check mark.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who the fuck you are, right? You could literally have an account named official Elon Musk, buy a check mark, and then claim to be him.
But so he said this before, and I have to believe this is his mindset when it comes to business. He said this before. He said, I made 20,000 flamethrowers. I told people not to buy them, and I'm out of stock. He will sell you something.
All right.
Regardless of his feelings on it.
Well, see, that's a whole different thing. You know, so I actually like the flamethrower thing. I think that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
but
he's just taking advantage of people willing to buy the check mark.
Okay, I agree with that. But can we acknowledge that that's a shitty thing to do?
People do worse than that, and and you want to know what's funny about that to me? People do worse all the time, and it's hidden behind closets and closed doors. But when Musk does it, it's like he's waving in front of your face, and people still jump for it. Like it's crazy. Right. And I just kind of find it hilarious in a way. So
yeah, I think he's got charisma.
That's the thing.
I think Elon has a certain charisma that helps him. I think that's one of his strengths. I don't think I don't think he seems very immature and childish, wildly so. Wildly immature and childish, so that's why I don't really like him.
Maybe this is one of the things of just like you're a little older, so maybe it doesn't like matter as much to you. Like because it really did just ruin Twitter, like completely. And I think you see that more as just okay. I mean, whatever. It's kind of funny. Like I see that more as like Twitter. I see social media as like. That's our means of communication. Like, there's like the big five, okay? And he ruined one of the big five. Like, this is like...
It's not the end of the world.
I just hated what
It's not the end of the world, but it's like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, that's a blow. That's a blow to my generation. Dude.
I hated the culture that surrounded social media at the beginning, too. It was very Gucci bag. Very... very Bugatti. You know what I mean? It was very like...
What color's your Bugatti?
Yeah, like...
What color's your Bugatti?
Very mainstream. Very like, be part of the mainstream. I'm a hippie, kind of rebel, anarchist. Like, I'm like the opposite of that. Like, when I see a group, I don't want to join the group. So I'm like, I in a sense, there's this one part of me that... This is what I was saying earlier, like the monster. I mean, like, when I see a group that I don't like, I don't know what it is. I think it's that, like... that European in me, but I'm like, I want to destroy the group. I don't know what it is. So when Twitter went down, I was happy. I was like, okay, we're making progress. Maybe now people stop saying, hashtag this, fuck off, Kim Kardashian. Like, I hate it. I hated everything around it. I hated that it was like a celebrity sharing quotes and people like sharing it. Like, I'm like,
I do hate the hashtags. All right, how about this though? Let me ask this. Good analogy, right? So instead of Twitter, what if he bought out YouTube and done the same thing? I feel like people would care a lot more about that.
You know what I feel like would have happened with Twitter? I mean, if he did the same... all right, let's stick with the argument. If he did the same exact thing to YouTube, you want to know what he would have done? He would have taken out ads.
Are there ads on X right now?
Yeah.
Most of them pulled out. Most of them
still...
Okay, so if he said...
They still doing ads.
If he said, I'm not taking down offensive videos on YouTube, and some advertisement agencies backed off, it would not change my experience on YouTube at all.
Oh, yes, it would.
No, here's why. Because here's why. It's not... The people who are on YouTube are still going to put videos on YouTube. There's such a demand for that. That will...
For the most part,
the content
especially
will
because
always
it's
be going on
diversified.
there.
But here's the thing. A lot of people still... They get a good chunk of money doing YouTube from ad revenue.
That's pretty much like all of them. Well, the only money they make that's not that is shit that they do themselves, like merchandise and shit.
Right, and Patreon and stuff like that.
I do believe YouTubers would still be getting paid.
Yeah.
YouTubers would still be getting paid.
Yeah, through Patreon sponsors, merchandise.
Musk would just be doing some other means of creating
it's fundamentally
revenue.
different. Like Twitter, whether or not there's advertising on Twitter is pretty much solely for the benefit of Elon Musk.
What hit Twitter hard was when celebrities left it, and I think that speaks volumes to what Twitter was. Just a bunch of people following their idols.
Really quickly,
like,
darn it, what was I going to say before you interrupted me?
Damn.
Shit.
Marijuana strikes again.
Yeah, it does, dude. It fucking does. I'm still high as shit.
Yeah, I see you, dude. You're like squinty-eyed, smiling, and you're rocking back and forth like in your old ways, bro. You're like,
motherfucker.
What was in that blood, dude?
Just weed.
It was some strong shit.
How much did you have?
I took quite a few hits. When it was passing me, I'd take a couple. And yeah. And I'm a lightweight, so
yeah. But it's weird because you were smoking this on our boys' day last Friday.
Yeah,
you were smoking this all day.
Well, it was more spaced out.
No, we kind of had some back-to-back ones though.
But it's more. I don't.
Maybe because there's less. Well, hold on. Josh was here for it.
I don't. I take one puff too, and I take one puff. Then I was taking multiple.
I also didn't have any.
Do you want to get a little higher, or
nah? I've been trying to cut back.
Makes sense.
I've been slowly
getting sobriety. I will say, for your age though.
I also don't know if that's
now is the time to be having fun, and being productive, but having fun.
Well, so I started. Am I allowed to talk about this on here? That was another one of my things why I didn't want to
The what, weed?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we
Are
can.
we allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, of course.
I don't
Yeah.
care. Yeah.
On here? It's whatever. No one's gonna see this. Yeah, it's all fucking like whatever. Alright, cool. I started when I was like fucking like 16.
Oh yeah, I started smoking when I was about 16.
So it's like, I mean, I've been doing it a while. Like, it's just not like I'm at the point now. I feel like I've been doing it too long because it used to be like really fun. Like I remember the first time I actually got like high. I just could not stop like giggling. Like it was for fucking
Me too, dude.
yeah. Like I don't even
First
know.
time I got high was in the hospital.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a fun place to be when you're
Actually,
high.
that's probably the first time actually you've gotten high too. You don't even remember.
I was high. I wasn't off weed. Yeah.
Well, they give
High
you
was, like,
Marinol,
painkillers and shit.
but you're right. The painkillers are stronger.
To be
Yeah.
fair, I took like when you had that Marinol, you gave me some of that, and I
Yeah.
took like a lot of it, and I didn't feel shit.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that. Harvey was saying that. All the people were saying
Marinol, is
that.
that literally like
That's THC in a
oh
pill.
just a pure like
Yeah,
But it's
pure
not
version of
good,
THC.
bro. Honestly, go to your local dispensary, ladies and gentlemen, or make it yourself. Grow your 4 plants. But
Well, we were kids, Adam, so technically, schmechnically, okay.
hey, I was smoking at 16. Like my tolerance was kicking by 17. But you're like at your age, dude. I was doing psychedelics every
Yeah.
weekend. I was rolling.
I mean, I'd still do psychedelics. Like, I wouldn't, I don't care about that. I haven't really had a good, like, chance to do it in a long time. That's kind of the only reason why I haven't.
So as from my expertise, sometimes you have to do it spur of the moment. Like, you'll start exploring yourself a little bit more. Like, problems you didn't know you had on the
because I don't want to be, like, I just want to make sure it's a day where I know I just have, like, nothing going on. Because I don't want it to be one of those things where it's, like, I take, like, a fucking gram, and it's, like, shit, dude, we gotta go. I'm like, oh, fuck. And then I'm, like, tripping on whatever we're doing. Like, that's just the only thing.
I feel you. I feel you.
yeah,
That
buying a
makes sense.
free day to do it.
Like,
It'll be easier when you like live on your own. Like,
yeah. Because, like, right now, I still, like, because I'm still living with my parents. And not even that. I have one of my boys, Landon's living with me right now as well. And so, it's like, he's in there a lot as well.
tripping with the boys can be fun.
Yeah. I mean, kind of before.
Mhm.
But, like, okay, the whole thing about, like, weed, though, is I don't like how it makes me feel anymore. Like, for the most part. Like, I'll do, like, the tiniest bit here and there, but, like, if I have, like, too much, it'll start to make me, like, really anxious, and, like, it's kind of supposed to do the opposite. So it's like, that's why I'm like, what the fuck?
So you gotta,
damn.
gotta. So when
Like,
you
it makes me, like, really anxious. Like, I'm gonna fuck up and say the wrong thing. And it just makes me, like, not talk.
I'm with you there. I don't get high before work. Like I used to do that as a young man, but I prefer going to my job sober. But when I'm home, oh yeah, I'm burning. I'm trying to stay lit. And I know what you mean about getting anxious too. Like sometimes that'll happen, but I notice it's like the type of weed, like if it's an indica or sativa, or if I had caffeine.
And it's not even that too. It's like, I guess not even like anxious. It's more like just like socially anxious. Because like during my night shifts, I'm literally the only one there. And that's why I would do it a lot. Is like I would just be hitting my fucking cart, right? But like if I was like blasted right now, I'd be like, it'd be bad. Like I would not be saying shit. I'd just be kind of sitting here like
Kind of like what I'm doing.
I haven't been.
yeah. Well, no. Well, you seem happy though. Like you seem fucking great.
Yeah, you're
like,
bouncing over there.
Yeah,
bro.
I'd be like sitting here just oh fuck.
I might be rocking back and forth.
So, I know what you mean though. I don't get blasted like that anymore. I miss those days when I was like 16, and I remember this one time I got high in Page Park, and like
Oh, that sounds fun.
well, yeah, and I'm walking with Paige and her boyfriend at the time and one of his friends, and I'm lit. It's probably like my second time smoking. I am lit. And we're like, oh, we need munchies, and we're like, all right, let's go to McDonald's, and we start walking over there. And my dad pulls up, and my high ass hopped in the car.
Well,
I just he pulled over like, hey, how you guys doing? I just saw the car. I'm like, I don't have to walk, and I just got in. He just looked at me. I guess I'm just like coasting into the seat, and Paige is like, Adam, we're going to McDonald's. Where are you going? I'm like, home. I got home. I passed out in the chair in the living room. I wake up, my mom and dad are looking at me. I'm like, so they're like, you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm chilling, you know. Like,
More than chilling.
oh yeah, I was on it, but fucking, I miss those days of kind of like getting so baked. You don't know how you got from point A to point B. There were some moments where I was just like, and now it's more. Now it's just, but now it's evolved too. There is a beauty in this type of high. Now I feel like back then I couldn't play video games. It'd be ridiculous. I couldn't play video games
That's
like
like
that.
my favorite shit.
Now I
That's
like
my favorite shit to do.
Now I like getting a good high, sitting down playing some video games, getting lost in the story. But I like being able to actually like take it in and play. So it's like a different type of high. It has its own merits. I think. Like, I'm wrong. Going on a space adventure is fun, but sometimes I just want to kind of be present, just a little lifted.
Right. See, that's another thing. It's just like I don't like a lot of time how it like I feel like I can't think.
Yeah, me
Like,
too.
I get very,
I
like,
get
things like you start talking and shit. It's like I can't track any of it. You know?
Yeah.
Sometimes I already have a hard time like tracking shit here. So it's like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I can track pretty good. Like just like in a conversation when I'm high. I just don't like talking to people that I can't socially be high around. Like I can't go to work high because I don't want to talk to my supervisor high. You know what I mean? Like I don't want that social interaction. Because in my head I'm like, oh god, he's gonna know I'm high. Like the whole time, I'm like, oh god, he's gonna know. I'm like Eric Foreman, like looking at red, like wallpaper moving and shit. I'm like,
And that's true because you also work in a factory.
no,
No?
warehouse.
Warehouse. Well, it's the same sort of thing. Like, oh, I see the high vis, right? Do you need like a hard hat or something? Or
Nah, the high vis
No.
is so machines don't hit me.
okay.
I mean, I guess it depends on what I'm doing. Technically, I have a hard hat. I just don't usually use it. I'll just take the concussion, to be honest.
Well, I don't know. I guess my point would be just more like it's a little bit more of a big deal if you're high over there than like if I get high at like Cumberland Farms, dude. Like, who's gonna give a shit? I'm working behind a fucking counter.
I see what you're saying.
The most dangerous thing there is the oven. And it's like I still know how to fucking cook. Like, you know.
Oh, you do that?
Well, cook is I throw shit in the oven. Yeah, but
When I was
I
working
guess.
at a grocery store back in the day, when I worked in the deli and the seafood department, bro, I'd get baked. I'd go out on my 15-minute break. I lived like right down the street, so I'd bike home real fast every 5 minutes. I'd rip my bong, get toasted, go back to work. Like I went there high. I smoked. One time I brought my bong to work. I just put it in the back of the behind the building. Put it behind a bush. Went outside, smoked behind the corner where I knew a camera didn't see me because I knew where the cameras were. Fuck it, got ripped. Go back in. Like
that's why.
and I'd make chicken tenders all day, so I'd get high. I'd eat chicken tenders. Like it was. Ooh, I'd go to work.
Sounds magical, Adam. Yeah.
It was when there was a Dunkin' Donuts there too. So like I'd go there with a tea bag from home. I'd grab a banana. I'd get a hot cup of water from Dunkin'. I'd make my tea, eat my banana, start my day off a little healthy because I'm about to eat junk food. And then I'd grab a box of chickens, put them on spits, fucking make some rotisserie chickens, start frying chicken tenders, mozz sticks, making sandwiches and shit.
Oh, yeah.
And like I have access to the entire deli, so like I'm cutting like, oh, like what is this? Boar's head teriyaki chicken. I'll try a couple of those. Like I was high there. I went to the interview stoned just so to set the tone, so they didn't know what I looked like stoner.
If the first impression you're high, then they don't know.
No, they don't know. So I went to work sober one time. The one time I went to work sober, my supervisor came up to me. She's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." She's like, "You just don't seem like yourself." I'm like, "Yeah, you know, I'm just a little tired."
I'm not
Like,
high, bitch.
yeah, I'm sober. She's like, "Do you need to go home?" I'm like, "No, I'm okay." I'm fine.
Wait, you got it like that, dude?
Yeah, she like
Fucking hell.
because she's used to my eyes being all
Yeah, they're like, yeah,
normal.
I bet you look like by comparison, you probably look like you were tweaking.
Yeah, by comparison, like going from like chinky eyed and smiling to being like
Yeah.
big eyed and like I'm at work.
Just the way you did that.
I'm like,
Yeah.
especially when I'm dealing with like customers, they're like, "Can you cut it a little thinner? I gotta be high for this."
Dude, talking about food. Now it is.
You hungry, Billy?
Against the grain after dark,
Maybe.
ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe. I'm not saying definitively. saying maybe.
I'm not against it, but fuck it, let's
But if we were going to do that, we should decide that now, actually, funny enough. That way, by the time it gets here, it is, we are... Oh, yeah, true.
I thought it'd be later.
We're 2 hours and 10 minutes in. So, I mean, but think of it, if we order food, it could take,
hour.
Yeah, half hour to an hour. Yeah. So the hours would be piling up if we did go that route. So are you guys up for food?
Well, maybe we wrap up the podcast. We talk
Yes,
about
that makes more
how long have we
sense.
been going?
Yeah.
2 hours, 10 minutes.
Yeah,
I guess that
that's
makes more
respectable.
sense. Yeah.
We had a fucking J Money feature.
Yeah,
That was
Said
awesome.
it was a
First,
far more relaxed session.
It's funny. You guys
I'm feeling
always talk.
relaxed.
You guys always talk about it feels like there's this legend of like J Money. You know, like I've heard that name so many times from you guys, and I actually got to fucking meet him.
Because he
He's kind of a
reminds me
legend.
of you.
Hmm?
He reminds me of you.
Yeah, like I said, me and him, it seems like we share a lot of the same ideologies of like try to say as bipartisan as possible. Like I like his like logical thinking. Like he doesn't really have a lot of strong opinions on things, but that's because you want to actually figure shit out first. You know, like I like that a lot. That's kind of how I am. So yeah, seems like a cool guy.
Yeah, he definitely is. He's a little bit more competitive. Like he's a little bit more. He's very competitive. I've noticed.
Yeah,
Him and Zach. Very
Zach
competitive.
ain't too competitive. Zach is more.
Zach's pretty competitive.
I wouldn't say he's competitive.
Not
He may-
as
no,
much,
he's
yeah.
not. I wouldn't say he's even competitive because that's like a whole personality trait. I think everybody could be competitive in a way. Like, and I think Zach's within the range of like kind of like
Video games, man.
He's not competitive. He's
also-
just good. That's what you didn't realize when we were playing. We need to team up on him.
He came Bryce, his best friend. He's like, Bryce cheated. He cheated.
Oh, Bryce won, and Zach. If you remember, Zach didn't win, so he came back.
No, he said he won.
Well, he says he won, but what actually happened was Bryce won because Bryce got all those stars at the end. He's like, I'm turning those off next time. Like, I love Zach, but no, he's not competitive. Zach is more.
I know he's kidding. He is kidding. Just so you guys, the audience, know.
Oh,
Zach,
Zach
he's
is just
obviously
fucking around,
He's
like-
he's doing that in a joking way.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, Zach is more. I don't know how to describe him. He's an entity on his own. He's
For sure. I don't take him as the person that like something that competitive people tend to. I mean, that's what they do. If they're like competitive, like they do a lot of comparing themselves to others. I don't see Zach comparing himself to others very much.
No,
You know what
Zach
I mean?
doesn't
Yeah.
compare himself to really anybody. Zach just kind of like, he will roast you. That's for sure. He will roast you. But he also, I don't know, I don't really know how to describe him. He's just kind of brotherly in a way, like I guess would be the way to describe him. Like,
You know, so he called me. So apparently, last thing the get together we had, he's like, he said, Billy, he was a sweet boy. Now he's turned into a terrorist.
I mean, Billy, you've always been a terrorist. You just had them fooled.
I guess. Oh God!
What
am
was
I-
to destroy
it's-
the Weedinator? Tell the audience about your
Oh
destroy
yeah.
the Weedinator.
What?
Not only
fuck
the
is this?
audit. Oh, have you not heard of
No,
this?
what the fuck is this?
Oh, that's what Zach calls it. Destroy Weedinator. I did not call it that. All right.
I gotta know, man.
I had this idea when I was younger. I used to hate drugs when I was younger. I used to hate drugs and alcohol.
He fell into the DARE program hard.
Yeah.
He believed the rhetoric.
Really hard. like really hard. I wanted to create a genetically engineered virus that would kill all the weed and tobacco. One for weed, one for tobacco. And like make it would be a plague so bad it would go extinct.
So the destroy the
That's
Weedinator. So
I love your reaction, Dan.
That's crazy.
yeah, so Billy, you've kind of always been a terrorist. You can never figure out what you're fighting for. It's kind of the scary part. And I'm waiting for the day you're like, Billy, I know what I'm doing. And I'm gonna be like, oh, tell me more. And I'm only hoping and praying that we have like interests, because if it's another thing similar, I want to destroy all the guns. I'm like, all right, Billy, we have to fight now.
Oh man, destroy weed in there. I changed my mind though. I changed my mind because I realized I still didn't like weed. Or tobacco, especially tobacco.
Tobacco. I don't like tobacco.
Yeah, I realized that it wouldn't be fair for weed and tobacco. They are plants, after all. It wouldn't be fair to them.
Oh, how generous of you! How generous of you! Really, never mind the stoners that like to get high for their glaucoma.
Oh, guys, are you hearing sound? No, only me. Okay, something happened on the screen here. It's recording.
Is it like fine now?
It's fine now. Okay,
See,
but something did happen.
I don't know. I didn't hear anything, Billy.
No, I'm sure it's just my tinnitus.
See, the only thing about the whole like the weed and tobacco thing is that I've always had this thought where it's like if we never had drugs, like if they never existed, like cocaine, alcohol, weed, like literally any of it, we probably would be better off as a society. But the fact that they're already like here, especially like, well, actually, I'm pretty much only talking about like alcohol and weed, like tobacco. But the fact that they're already here means that we can't really get rid of them without it turning into some shit. Like that's kind of what happened with like prohibition. So
I think people like we talked like politically and socially, like so like in terms of social politics, but like I just tend to believe that like you do what you do, I do what I do. Like we can. It shouldn't bother someone else that I smoke weed. Like it's crazy to me that I could live rent free in someone's head. Like who am I to you? I'm just another person in your life. You know what I mean? Like talking to a stranger, but like I'm just, to some people I'm just the dude that changes their battery or fucking puts the wheel in their forklift. It should not matter to you that I'm fucking high.
Well, it's not. I'm not saying like that. Like I'm not saying like socially. Like obviously I don't care who like smokes weed. I fucking do it. Like it's more of just a thing of like. How do I put this? Like evolution wise.
Oh, you're
like,
talking about
we'd be better. Like we'd be farther along as a species. That's what I meant to like. I feel like because people. There's a lot of people who they get sucked into like alcoholism and like drug addiction, and they're not really doing anything with their lives. Sort of like I feel like we'd have a lot more people accelerating just humanity, like making inventions and shit. If they're just weren't a lot of people like that.
But I also want to say like socially, if somebody doesn't want to excel, what if they just want to get high all day, hang out, do something menial, like a menial task?
Well, what if they can't?
What if they can, and that's what they want? Should be available to them, no?
All right. Well, that's why I don't. All right. That's why I don't have a problem with it as it stands, because we already have these things. I'm saying if
hear me out.
If they never existed,
I don't think we'd be further along. I think you'd have a lot of angry people who are like, "Why am I sober?" They just don't have the substance.
You're missing what I'm saying. Like
I think I am because I'm not sure if I'm picking. I'm not sure if I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Let's make this is a hypothetical, okay? In this hypothetical universe, all right, alcohol, marijuana, tobacco, all these drugs literally never existed.
I think.
That society would be more advanced than the one.
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh, seriously.
No, alcohol advanced so many other.
How is that?
It's a science. It's very fucking useful. We used it for other things. Yeah, sure. First we started making mead, but then we also learned how to distill things, make flammable things. It's productive. We'd be less along now.
let me change my analogy again. If they're in this hypothetical universe, nobody has ever drank alcohol, smoked marijuana, or smoked tobacco, all right, and never will. In that universe, would we be more far along?
No, I don't think we would.
How the fuck? Okay.
Because just the invention of things makes things better. And also, I would say...
But come on, weed is not an invention.
Well, I didn't say it's an invention, but I was more focused on alcohol in that situation. Because the idea of brewing and distilling is that kind of technology.
I see what you're saying.
But then also, I believe smoking weed is what allows somebody to be like, what if I put yeast in that honey? And... smoking weed leads to creative thoughts. I believe if you look at some of the most intelligent people in, way back, not talking about Einstein and shit like that, but just society, they did some wacky shit. Yeah,
Okay.
like
See, that's valid.
yeah, like there were
That's-
plenty of alcohol. Oh, in the early 1900s, plenty of alcoholic scientists.
Okay, let's say because weed's one thing. What about alcohol?
Oh yeah, dude.
Like-
You don't think Albert Einstein sat there with a cognac? I think not.
But do you think he like a lot of these people, right? You think they wouldn't have came to those conclusions if it were not for weed or alcohol?
Maybe. Who's to say? So the butterfly
What?
effect, it's impossible to predict. If you take out weed
Yeah,
and
but
alcohol,
generally speaking, out of all the countless possibilities,
I would say generally we would see it would be a regression.
wow.
I think drugs are some of the things. Drugs, alcohol. I think.
I might want to destroy weed again.
Well, hold on, Billy. Billy. You will have our entire fan base wanting to fight you.
Yeah.
The wizards would
I-
turn on me.
Oh, dude, the wizards would be you'd be banished from the council. You'd be like Sauron, bro. And we'd have to take you down. It'd be a whole.
No, I'd be like Melkor.
No, because Sauron will fall. Like if you Billy, I'm just one of the
Melkor
wizards.
fell.
Billy, I'm just one of the wizards. That's you just just me alone. You have me. Then you have just Josh. Like think of him, and then you think you're gonna get that. You couldn't even beat him at Mario Party.
Sure, like Mario Party matters, unlike
No, but
anything
you-
substantive. We all know Elden Ring is all that matters.
But
okay?
I think that if you generally speaking, we took out drugs and alcohol out of our culture, like in an alternate universe of these things never even existed. Well, one, if those things never existed, we find other things to get high on. I think it's nature.
I mean, true.
Bears huff methane.
There's always got to be something to get high on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
creatures like getting high.
Yeah, we just
Creatures.
do. We enjoy the
You heard that thing
experience.
about dolphins and the pufferfish?
Yeah, the dolphins and the
Yeah,
pufferfish.
they
around.
chew on the
No.
pufferfish,
Or no-
man.
Well, no, they won't. They won't chew on it. They literally they'll scare it so that it secretes its venom shit, and then they basically huff it like they'll literally pass it around like a bomb.
Well, they're
Oh,
not huffing.
shit.
They're not huffing it. So pufferfish have spikes on the end of them, and they're literally playing volleyball with each other. As it hits their nose, they're getting the fucking
Oh
Venom.
shit!
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's literally puff, puff, pass. It's cool.
Yeah, they have a fucking rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deer eat psychedelic mushrooms. Bears huff methane. I mean, hell, there's a book by Terence McKenna that argues that psychedelic mushrooms are responsible for us becoming an intelligent
The
species.
stoned ape theory.
Yep.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'd have to say if it weren't for drugs, we'd probably be flat, crap flinging monkeys still. Depends where you depends how you look at it, I guess. And obviously, all this is just conjecture because
All hypothetical.
nobody has any evidence to say otherwise. But
It's a very compelling theory.
I like that one.
Like
a
I
lot.
like the idea that basically we were normal, and then some human fucking 200,000 years ago took psychedelics and basically figured it out, and that's why we're here. That is a very compelling thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what drove us to become more
It's
self-aware? And
definitely-
psychedelics
Yeah,
seem to
like,
do that.
Because in biological standards, we are way more fucking advanced than anyone else. It's not even fucking close. Okay, and I'm just wondering what led us to that.
Yeah.
It's a very compelling thought.
Well, it's also
Yeah.
it's weird too because it's monkeys are all there's only a 1% difference in our intelligence actually.
Yeah,
But
Like-
what made
No, there
us-
isn't. We're way more
No, this came from
intelligent
Neil
than
deGrasse
that.
Tyson. He said there's only a 1% difference. He said now
In
what would,
intelligence? No.
yeah, and then what he said was, well, how would you imagine an alien species that's just 1% smarter than us? Oh, look at little Timmy. He cracked then we take Stephen Hawking. Look, he can do astrophysics calculations in his head, just like little Timmy over here.
it's not even confirmed that we're the smartest species.
We're the
It's
smartest
just
species.
we're the ones that have been able to act on it.
Well, and that's the thing about psychedelics.
That's a good point. There's a lot of smart species out there.
All these secret dolphins or octopus or some shit. They just okay. Let's use dolphins specifically. They could very well be smarter than us. They have their own language. They know all this shit. They have super advanced hunting tactics. Right? They don't have fucking arms or legs. What are
True.
they gonna do?
Yeah. Well,
if they
can't
had-
make tools.
Yeah, if they had arms and legs, if you put dolphin brains inside a bunch of people, they could very well do the same or more than we could. We just have no fucking idea.
When it comes to self-awareness, that's one of the big things that separates us from other animals is the idea of our level of self-awareness. And it makes sense to me that psychedelics could instilled that over generations. That's the level of self-awareness that we have. Like when you've eaten psychedelics, are you not a little more in tune to your surroundings and what you are?
Oh, way more.
Yeah.
Way more.
And like imagine a bunch of monkeys doing this for generations of just getting
Oh,
high.
that's what they said?
Yeah,
Okay.
nothing happens overnight. It's
Oh,
not like
yeah.
we ate a mushroom or magic, But over time, we become more self-aware. We start exploring our surroundings more, experimenting with plants, experimenting with other food groups. Like if you took out the idea of us getting high, we might not be where we're at. Mushrooms might have been what drove us to be here today.
Damn.
So I guess it depends. Like I don't think we'd be further along personally. Like I think I'll say drugs are kind of go hand in hand.
Do you think it's a net good?
I think it is a net good.
For society.
I think it is a very good. I think it is a solid net good. Like I think a lot of differences could be made over people getting high or getting drunk together. Can't tell me throughout history there hasn't been a few instances of some racist like redneck getting drunk and having a very good conversation with a black gentleman, and then like maybe I'm not racist. Like maybe he's thinking differently.
No, if it's that situation, they get drunk. They're gonna be like fist fighting out in the back.
That's another version of that.
That can definitely happen, and it's probably the most likely. But I think it has happened in the past. That maybe someone just had a good night. This man held my hair back while I was throwing up. Like,
Dude.
like who knows? I don't know, but I do think that it's like, possible that maybe there's a net good there. For sure. That's my opinion. And I think these things create unity. You know what's funny? Well, when I moved out west and I realized that rednecks grow our weed, like I'm like looking, I'm like, wow. Like, this group of people likes to smoke weed. This group of people likes to smoke weed.
Everybody likes to smoke weed.
It's like unity, dude. The only people who don't like to smoke weed are the people that no one likes anyway. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe we're a little more like-minded. Like I think it's nice when there's things that everybody can relate to. Like, and it can create good.
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, it's a
I
little
never thought about it as just a lot of people who take drugs and do all this shit. They're just more like wasting time. But that's not what it is.
No, free time, in a way, I get what Adam's saying. Free time is useful time in a large way.
But also,
free time is kind of what it's all about. I will also argue that. Like, remember, like the reason why we want to advance technologically is so hopefully the reason is we could be happier.
And who's to say how someone spends their free time? That's up to them to do. If they want to get high, go ahead. If someone doesn't, all right. Like,
okay, Fred.
I don't think anybody is born with an obligation to the human race. I just think it's cool and appreciated when there are humans that do that. But no one's obligated to. I think I think part of being able to be there for others is first being able to be there for yourself. If that makes sense. So like you have to, in a way, you have to put yourself first in some instances, and then you can be there for people and put them before you sometimes. But I think there's a balance, and I think that I don't think it's anybody's place to make decisions for other people. Like, and getting high, as long as you're not hurting anybody, whatever. I don't care. Like, I don't expect this man to become a scientist if he doesn't want to. If he wants to smoke weed and lounge around like welfare, I don't really care. I don't like the idea of welfare because of a lot of other reasons, but, the taxes and budgeting and all that crap and the way it works. But, yeah, somebody wants to fucking not work, and as long as they're not expectant. Like, I need other people to help me. Because again, that's the reverse. Now they're expecting other people. The expectance of other people. You can't expect anything from other people. The only person you can expect from is yourself. So, like, smoking weed, it's like, it's just a pastime, and someone's whole life could be a pastime. They want to.
Yeah.
Wasting time is irrelevant. It's not your time; it's his time.
Well, what if it's more of a collective thing? Like, it's not just dependent on like one person. I'm talking if there was no one on the planet fucking did it anymore. Like, a lot of those people would maybe make more advancements. I'm slow. Like, my mind, I can feel my mind changing right now. By the way, just like, I don't know.
Dan?
I agree that it makes people think a lot deeper, but I also agree that it makes people lazy a lot of the time. So
You're evolving.
Alright. I think we're hitting
By the way, when I went to the bathroom, guys, I did that bathroom break, I looked in the mirror, and I'm like, holy shit.
yeah,
My eyes are so red as hell.
good shit.
Dude, it's,
Dude, like right now, am I squinting? No, right?
Right now, no.
Yeah. But like, I noticed the color was the big thing.
What just happened?
My mic fell and I caught it.
Shit.
Oh, good shit, dude. Good save.
There's a lot going on right now.
Yeah.
You need help, dude?
No, I got it.
Okay.
But I do have to take out the doggo.
Yeah. We should probably end it.
Yeah, I was saying we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah.
Alright.
He's taking
Sure.
doggo.
Okay, yeah, he's taking it. So we'll wrap it up when he gets back, or?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Wait, how do you feel about that?
Feel about what?
Drugs.
Drugs?
Like,
Oh,
do you
I think...
Do you think it's net good, net bad?
I mean, like, okay, in terms of, like, I think probably would we be more far along, like in an economic and possibly also technological sense without drugs? Yeah. But, so I do think overall they do probably slow economic growth and they probably slow scientific growth by like a little bit. I don't even think they slow it by that much, to be honest. Because like most people are doing this shit on their free time. The big thing is mitigating, I guess, the harms of drugs.
Yeah, like
Because here's the thing: is fundamentally, I do want people to, when you think about it, it's all about free time. You do work so you can enjoy some time where you don't have to work. Loki.
oh, you were vocal right now, bud.
He's meowing like crazy.
Come on, bud. Chill.
So adorable. We just got distracted by a cat. Big time. Yeah. He is distracted. He is adorable.
But
He's got these big cheeks.
he does, dude. What the fuck?
He has some monstrous
I
cheeks,
thought about
dude,
that. Why
for
is
his
that?
size. Yeah, he's got some monster. Fucking,
You're small, dude. Look at you.
I do think so. Drugs are beneficial in that way, kind of like video games are. Video games, yeah, they're kind of a waste of time. There are some benefits of video games. You get better at video games. A lot of people say like some of the best drone pilots are kids that played like tons of people that as a kid played tons and tons of video games. So I think in terms of creativity, thinking, whatnot, I do think it does fuel economic and technological growth in that regard for sure.
what are we talking about?
We're still talking about drugs.
Yeah.
Well, I want to kind of get.
I think I'm mostly pro drugs. I think there are some drugs that can be very deleterious to
I guess maybe I should just
society and people.
I should reword my shit.
I'm only talking about weed. That's the big thing. Heroin.
See, when I was talking about, I was talking about like everything.
Oh, so I'm just talking about weed and alcohol and psychedelics. I wish other drugs weren't as deadly. Like cocaine, I think is harmless.
Yeah,
if it
what does
wasn't
say
as
it's
if it
harmless?
wasn't as addictive
Yeah.
and as deadly as it can be. But I think generally the high is not something that makes someone individually dangerous. Like, honestly, someone who's coked out, then you can just kind of knock them the fuck out. Like, they're not really a threat. Like heroin, meth. Oh, meth is
heroin
productive.
was like, I thought heroin was like a decelerant kind of thing. I thought people just die off like fucking.
Well, heroin is different. A heroin addict will like steal from their parents, from their friends, from their fucking.
Oh shit!
It's destructive for relationships.
So what are you saying, Adam?
That's
Heroin.
destructive. That it's destructive for relationships. I'm not in my groove right now. I'm getting tired. Y'all want to call the
I think
podcast?
we
Yeah,
should wrap
let's-
it.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it.
I feel like I'm
We've
just kind of.
been saying that like 3 fucking times now.
Yeah. All right,
All right,
ladies and gentlemen, this has been Against the Grain After Hours.
after hours.
Yeah, it's definitely after hours. We got to name it that.
Fucking 3:30. Yeah.
All right. Well, tune in next time.
Peace, gang.
Peace.